What's up, guys? Derek, moreplatesmoredates.com, here again with my buddy Chris Deoudes, goodlookingloser.com. I'm sure you know by now. This podcast is sponsored by Gorilla Mind, Rush and Smooth, the best turnkey nootropic formula on the market, designed by Chris and myself.
Mostly Derek. That's why it's good.
Yeah, but if you haven't given it a shot, links in the video description below. Highly recommend you try it. Good for studying, productivity, work, efficiency, pre-workout, whatever you want to use it for. Pretty much a one-stop shop kind of supplement. So highly recommend you give it a try. This is exactly what I use to get me through all of my studying in university and now in my working years to plow through work days.
This stuff will really impress you. And if you're so lucky to try Gorilla Mind, it's like Derek and even myself back when I was more active, we weren't mainstream channels. And, the mainstream nootropics out there that they're caffeine plus guarana plus they're just either low dose pre-workouts or they're pre-workout shitty things. And this is as much focus as you can possibly get without the massive increase in jitters and energy. Yeah. So that's what makes it.
And great. Even the other products on the market, like I don't know what it is about these owners, if they actually are just that clueless about what they're making and they're just trusting manufacturers or what the deal is, but you look at their dosages of alpha GPC, of Bacopa, of any of these ingredients that are worth putting in your product, and they're just like 1/4 till 1/10 of the efficacious dosage. And it's like, it's just kind of baffling to me.
We wonder if they're just stupid, but more than likely you have these big companies and they're running their focus product or something. So they have like a risk team.
Yeah.
And the risk team gets the formulation from the actual formulators who would probably otherwise create possibly a good product. And they'll strike out anything that brings the company risk. Bacopa, for example, totally pretty much harmless, but to make sure it's harmless, let's put in the dose of Bacopa that does nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, because their biggest fear is getting sued, and they're just trying to sell products. They're not trying to make customers. They're trying to sell products.
Yeah, and just trying to crank their margins up as much as possible, I guess, too, is probably a part of it.
They don't know underground stuff. That's the reason you're watching this YouTube channel or you watched mine back in the day. That the best info is still pretty much underground, and YouTube has grown so much, some for good, some for bad. I would say mostly for bad at this point because of the censorship, but you want to put that in there. But, you don't want to diss YouTube.
Well, I don't know, whatever, fucking.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm all dressed up now, and Derek had like 3 cartons of Halo Top ice cream, and we just had a huge dinner. And so he's kind of brain dead right now. But I said we have to do like 30 minutes of podcasting. We have no questions, we have no topics in mind.
Yeah.
But it's just so rare that I'm like dressed
up. And it's so rare that I'm even here to begin with.
Yeah.
So should get something out of it.
Yeah.
What was the first thing you want to talk about having living in the moment? I don't know if it was that specifically. It was you were just talking about it like 20 minutes ago.
Well, just why am I dressed up tonight? Well, we went out and we had a good time tonight. We just went to dinner with a group of people.
Yeah.
And it was a good time. Now, I probably wouldn't have dragged myself out if Derek and another one of my buddies wasn't here, but we talked about self-improvement and just there's like an overwhelming thing in self-improvement, mainstream and otherwise, that it's a list of things you shouldn't do. You know what I'm saying? Don't watch TV. Don't watch sports.
What about video games?
Totally that. No video games, no porn, no. It's a list of stuff that like you don't do. And I remember from GL guys back in the day when I was more active, and I'd be like, all right, so tell me about your life. He's like, okay, I don't watch porn. I don't watch sports. I don't play video games. Okay, but what do you do? What do you do? And then, then they focus, well, I lift weights and I'm reading this book and stuff like that. Well, that's all well and good, but what do you do for fun then? Yeah. And most often it's just nothing.
Yeah.
And what I had always told guys, I forget the date range, but I had said 1 time a week you need to have fun. And that fun is doing something you enjoy, and you know you enjoy, or doing something you've never done before. And to me, that kept me fresh, and it kept me fresh in the period where I was talking to chicks.
Yeah.
Because you know that can be monotonous too. Oh, what have you been up to? Girl asks you, so I'm going out, and no, you can say, well, I went whitewater rafting, and it keeps it fresh. So if nothing else, then your own sanity.
Yeah.
But you want something to talk about, do something new every week.
I feel like that sort of prevents the weeks from blurring together too. Like when you do like something at least somewhat memorable. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like when you do when you're just working nonstop, eventually you'll be like, what the fuck day is it? And it'll be like 3 weeks later, and it feels like nothing's happened.
Do you remember, like, I'm sure you don't remember the dates of the day you're on, but do you remember if it's like Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday? You know the day of the week it is?
Sometimes, most of the time, but it's like sometimes I'll be pulling like a 20-hour workday, and then I'll like forget it's the next day.
Yeah.
And I'll be like going to the gym for my Monday workout on like Tuesday. And like the people are there for their Tuesday early morning workout, and I'm there for like my Monday night workout.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck, I'm like a day behind these people.
Yeah.
Even though I'm like just working my ass off.
So I can say, though, like Derek and I, we are successful weirdos in that I will be up doing the bulk of my like intense work or on the computer doing work at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And I do my best work then. And I mean, we talked about that last podcast, but they talk about being on a schedule. And I guess that's okay if you're not disciplined.
Yeah.
But all these rules that are out there, be on a schedule and keep a journal, to do all this kind of stuff. If you're getting results, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You got to do what works for you. And I'm just wired to work at night. I don't know. It's weird. Some people are, well, your circadian rhythm makes you. No, it just doesn't. It doesn't.
I'm still sort of like in the process of figuring out if that's the case for myself, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I don't know.
Well, I think you stay up like a bit too long, though.
Yeah, I think sometimes I push it like an hour or two, like too long, and then it just fucks me over, to be honest.
So he stays up like 28 hours, and he should have stayed up for just 26. No.
Even that, though, I think there's like a statistic that says it's like the equivalent of being like a certain % of drunk or something.
Yeah.
Every like hour past like 16.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. It's just like, even if like cognitively I can stay up, I sort of like worry about like the health ramifications long term.
Yeah.
Because there's like a lot of shit that goes wrong when you're like sleep deprived, like in like cancer cell development wise and shit. That's a lot of like, getting deeper than like just practical like work conversation. But like that's like the kind of thing I think about when I like fuck up my sleep.
When I get sick, just like a cold or something,
Yeah.
based on what I used to do to my body, and to some degree still today, I almost always think I'm gonna die. I'm just like, this is it. And it can be like, what do you like, man flu or bro flu? That's definitely me. And I get worried because, I abused my body in my 20s.
Yeah.
I don't regret it, but it makes me paranoid these days. Like, if I get a cold, I'm just like, oh, all right, so this is the end here.
It's like your
so make sure you get your will
failing.
written up. And what's that?
Your immune system just like failing finally, or?
Yeah. And often it could be like a hormone is off or something like that. And that surely does it. But yeah, having fun, it's important. And again, and I said having fun, not necessarily being social. One thing about me, and I mean, Derek is probably similar, and certainly Scotty, you guys remember him. We weren't the life of the party guys. We weren't, oh, great guy to be around and stuff. I talked about Dan Bilzerian in I guess, when we spoke before, and he was like a life of the party guy. He had great energy. Yeah. That wasn't me. And for a period of time, like I was trying to be that, be the mayor or be that guy who's just like the fun party guy. That wasn't me. And when I was trying to be that, it was like...
Yeah, it didn't work.
It didn't work, and you're going for pussy. Yeah. You're not going for talk to people. You're going... It's... So, you do have to modify... If you're struggling with chicks, it's not so much you have to modify your personality, which you might have to. You just got to get it out there.
Yeah.
That's true. And I saw and observed Scotty, who was not a life of the party, rah guy.
Yeah.
You know, he'd walk up to just the girls he wanted to fuck.
Yeah.
Go into a place and he'd walk up until he had a girl that he could try to take to his car. It was that way all the time, and it was never hey bro, and you know, I think the Golden State Warriors are gonna get beat tonight. None of that. He wouldn't acknowledge anyone that he, not even social. He wouldn't be rude to them, but he wouldn't expand on anything. And I feel like the blueprint that some people teach of like, oh, this is the alpha male to be, you know, it's the guy making his rounds, and it can be.
Yeah, that wasn't congruent with my personality either. So it was like trying too hard to like be that guy just didn't work. Right. But like talking to girls, anyone can do that. It's just like a matter of your personal style of doing it.
The whole goal though is get laid or get girls.
Yeah,
it's
and like
not
at the end of the
social.
day, you don't need to be like a fucking party animal or like a life of the party.
Yeah, you don't need to be Rob Gronkowski. Yeah. God bless you if you are. But you know who Gronk is.
Yeah.
Everyone knows who Gronk is. It's not wild frat boy. Not necessarily.
How old is that guy? Didn't he just retire?
He did just retire. I think Gronk is.
He's not that old. But in football, I guess you retire pretty young.
Yeah, it could be. Google, what is Rob Gronkowski's age?
Here's what I found.
1989.
So he's 30.
Okay, that's kind of.
Or he's turning 30.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, no hate on that, but most of the guys who are watching these videos and looking for help online, like, they're introverts. And
I was.
Yeah, and you don't need to become an extrovert. You just have to be able to talk to the girls you want to talk to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like an extreme introvert at one point too. So it's not like you need to have some sort of like tendency to be able to like, you know, fucking like rile people up and like make them excited that you're there and shit like that.
Yeah. What do you do for fun? Since we're on the topic of fun.
Like currently, or what I did when I was like picking up and shit.
Right now.
I always have like one day a week set aside to go out with my girl, either to, sometimes it's just dinner, sometimes it's like planning some sort of activity, sometimes it's like, have you ever done like escape rooms?
No, but I hear that I need one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who told you that?
Oh, wait, that's something else. I'm thinking of like a room where they put you in there because like you're like insane or something like that, with like the padded wall or something.
No, that's like a legit fucking like psychopath room or whatever. I'm talking about, it's like, I don't know if they have them here, but where I live, it's like
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Right. Anyway, those things are fun, and they're good, like, you know, date night things or whatever.
Yeah.
And like group friend things too. If you have like a group of people, it's like, what's something we can all like have a blast doing?
Yeah.
Like, super fun.
You guys that are watching this, a lot of that, it's a bit of the GLL crowd, but you know, Derek's a little different than I am, but there's a lot of guys that are gym rats and bodybuilders watching this. Like, you have so much potential. The only reason you're into bodybuilding is to get girls. Okay, you have a leg up on people because you know how to transform your body. It's such an advantage, but you will always underachieve, like so many bodybuilders do, gym rats do, juice bros do, unless you actually admit to yourself, like, the body isn't going to be getting the girls. It'll help, you know, somewhat. But I just had that insight. I mean, we talked about bodybuilders the other day, and it's just like the discipline it takes to build an incredible body. What if you had that across the board in your life? Like, you'd be on fire, you know?
Hey, you can do anything.
Yeah. And you can.
Yeah.
But bodybuilders are kind of like that. I mean, we talked about the clothing, like they don't like to dress trendy and current. It's like, well, okay.
They like think it's like lame somehow. Yeah. And it's like the opposite.
They wouldn't get Botox and stuff like that. I need Botox, by the way. I'm not as angry as I look. Yeah, they won't. It's weird that they're in self-improvement, because bodybuilding is a form of self-improvement unless you're competing.
Yeah.
But they won't do things like get Botox or dress better or or I don't know, get a cool haircut, get a tattoo. I don't know. They think they're so much different than everybody. And granted, you're walking around 250 pounds jacked. Well, you're different than everybody, but you're not that much different.
Yeah.
You want to be that contrast where I think that's one reason that Brian Harris did so well was, he was tattooed from head to toe.
Yeah.
Obviously not his whole life. And he was really built.
Yeah.
And he had the ability, you don't see this so much from his interactions in the pickup videos, but he could get like really philosophical, like really, really philosophical. And it was, I'm a heterosexual male, but I can see if I was a woman that this guy that tattooed from head to toe, even a tattoo on his face and his neck, jacked, who could have like really intelligent discussions. That's a thing. So
Yeah.
we talked about that contrast, like play against stereotype.
Yeah.
Like a guy with like a rocker haircut who just like who like reads books or something.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, there's got to be some shit I should be able to ask you that I've always wanted to ask you that I like it's escaping my mind right now. Because it's like not a fucking
scale out of 1 to 10. Well, I'll ask you stuff and maybe you should ask me back. Scale 1 to 10, right? How good's your life right now?
It's funny because I would rate it like pretty much the same as before I had very no, that's not the case. I don't know, maybe like 8.
Okay.
But it's
what
like,
could be better? What brings it up 2 notches? Though?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like I would say like having more money and like having like the business ideas I want to like launch blow up. Yeah. But then it's like at the same time I can easily see myself in a year and a half or 2 years being like at an 8 with like $5 million more or something.
Right. Yeah, just multiply it by
like I've been at like 9 and 10 with like $0 in my bank account before.
Right.
It's always like that next thing, and then once you get used to it, you kind of go from a 10 back down to like a 6, and then you kind of like go back up, and then you kind of like go back down once you're used to that lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it's like you could have like everything you thought you ever wanted, and then you sort of just like slowly like become less satisfied with it, and it's just like your norm. And then anything less than that is like, wow, I'm at a fucking 4 today.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing about money. At some point, you have enough to live, and then at some point, you have enough to play, and you know what, you won't run out. At that point, it literally becomes like a game. And this happened to me some time ago, where you can log into your bank statement, and check the total and the accounts and stuff like that. And it's like a game. It's like, oh, it's $2,000 higher than it was yesterday.
Yeah.
It's a game, and I kind of wondered if like that was the right mentality to have. It's actually not, from what I've thought about it, because that game is endless. It's absolutely endless.
Until you die and you realize you've just been racking up a high score.
Yeah. And I can kind of see why people get into like politics, for example, because there's like there's different types of things that people desire, especially men. One is money. Yeah, and then there's sex, right? And then another one is power. And
I guess that's the one that's not satisfied with just money.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I would see after maybe you got your, maybe it's not in your personality, but after you got your financial, after you're like, okay, I'm where I need to be. I could be higher, but it's, another $100,000 ain't gonna do a goddamn thing for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. You might pivot to something totally different. I guarantee you, sometime in the next 5 to 10 years, something you never thought you would be doing, you will be doing, and it will be number 1 priority. I'm hoping that for myself too.
Yeah.
But
I feel like that's like next year and a half for you, probably, or something like that.
Yeah, I suppose it's coming.
Definitely.
Just I feel bad not checking in with the GLO guys who are like, if I post a tweet, they're just say, hey man, where you been and stuff like that. I don't live an interesting life. I run Happy Hippo, and we put kratom in a bag and we sell it. and there's not a hell of a lot that's interested with that. And what we want to do is like, you know, as long as we keep a super high quality product, like, you know, just try to do that as much as we possibly can. So it's not super interesting. And even when I was Good Looking Loser, blogging and stuff, my life wasn't interesting then. It was before that.
Yeah.
You know, that's where all the adventure comes from.
Yeah.
And you can see, like, you used to look at my website for, like, you know, advice with gear and stuff like that. And you can see how at a point, like, I completely, like, maybe I knew this and you were here and then you were learning. And I mean, you've overtaken me so far in that in a short period of time. And you can just see, like, my gear IQ is just completely stagnant. It's not part of my life, but it's kind of what happens, though.
Yeah.
You know, my knowledge of SEO in the blogging, it froze.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad thing, but I think everyone watching this video, like, if you're serious about stuff, you probably in a decade, you know, you got to trust your instinct now and go after it, you know, as best you can. And then it'll all start making sense. Like, whatever you think your fucking goal is, you know, go try to do it and you'll figure out maybe it's not for you, or maybe it is for you, but it's different than you thought.
Right.
You got to trust your instinct in your 20s. Keep yourself out of debt. Keep yourself out of fucking fatherhood. You know, just don't fuck it up in your 20s. Like, that's one of the things that Derek did right, even though when we were talking, you said, oh, I wouldn't have gone to college. I wouldn't have done that stuff. Yeah, but you avoided the major of getting married, of going into the military and getting either your leg blown off or go crazy.
Yeah.
You know, you've avoided those major pitfalls. So when it kind of came together when you were 24, which is very young, it probably all came together like 25, 26.
Yeah.
26, let's just say. You were able to run with it because you hadn't made any real fucking terrible mistakes. So
Yeah, that's true.
that's been my advice to guys in their early 20s. Just, if you think you're not getting anywhere, that's fine. You just, maybe you're not, but you're building experience, and maybe it won't pay off till later, but it is a win if you're age 25 and you haven't fucked up your life like so many people in this generation have.
Yeah.
Sometimes through no fault of their own.
Yeah.
You know, they thought it'd be a good idea to go to law school, and now they got $200,000 to pay back.
Yeah. I like as much as I say that university was like a complete waste of my time, it's like, what's the likelihood that I would be in the position I am now doing what I'm doing if I didn't go there and like go through the process of realizing I like hated university? Like, I might have never been here in the first place.
Yeah, we talked about that in the car going to dinner. You said sometimes you have to go to something and fail at it to realize a greater insight. And I said sometimes you have to go to something and succeed and see that it wasn't all that it was cut out to be. You know, you did well in school, I'm sure.
Yeah, I was. I didn't do terrible. I did in high school. I was like a straight A student with like high A's, and then university I was like a straight B student, which is like good, I would say, in like a prestigious business school. So
Yeah.
like definitely tried and fucking did it properly.
Yeah.
I wasn't just there for the sake of like being present.
Right.
So I don't know, but I don't know. I wasn't trying to be like a doctor or a lawyer or like a nurse or some shit that needs like a very specific thing. So I was like, hey, well, why am I going here to work for somebody else to make their business money when like it's not even relevant to what I care about in the first place too. So
when I was younger, I remember I would envy not people who like had it all planned out and had it all together. I envied the people who didn't give a fuck. That just like, they're like, yeah, that you know,
I used to have such
doctor, it's not for me. Like,
I had such an aversion to like not having a plan. You know what I mean? Like I was like, to me, it was like terrifying to think of somebody who didn't have like this step equals this, that equals this, that equals this job. Right. You know, I was like, there needs to be like a cemented like thing. Yeah. There was no like going into entrepreneurship where it's like, how much money can you make? Like, it's on you. how are you going to get it? It's on you.
Right.
What's the path to fucking starting the business?
Yeah.
Figure it out. Like that kind of thing was like super terrifying at the time.
Yeah.
But it's like at the same time, it's like that's the only way you're going to get a job where you can actually like get rich realistically nowadays is through those like, you know, uncharted water kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
But those uncharted waters you don't need to dive into those necessarily in your 20s because
No, of course not.
we're in our little bubble and we think, owning businesses, it's like there's no other life. You know what I'm saying? But if you're in your 20s and you're hungry to own your business, well, that's great. But understand that you're young. One of the better things, so suppose you started a business when age 21, you know, and it never really amounted to much. But suppose you, instead of at 21, start a business, you basically, you worked for someone who gave you personal attention and advice, and you observed them. And instead of starting your own business at age 21, you learn a ton of stuff. You were an insider in whatever industry you were in.
Oh, yeah, but
you're
like-
going to be way better at 25.
Yeah, job shadowing for like something you actually care about though versus job shadowing for like some fucking accounting firm that your like mom wanted you to go to.
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just there are definite benefits of having it's not just a job, but to be around successful people. That's it's invaluable. In fact, it's almost harder to get that than do your own thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Inevitably, I always started to compare myself to the people around me that were successful though, and then you like get in the mindset of chasing that number in the bank account, which can be a bit of a double-edged sword in itself.
Do you have any friends that like locally you chill with or you know live with or something that are doing anything like you're doing? Like they have their separate projects?
No,
not at all.
I have friends that are like very ambitious about their jobs, but it's like working for somebody else.
Right.
Which is like fine if that's what you want to do and like you're totally content with that, but it's like they don't like want to pursue other things or like try to, you know, start their own ventures. It's just like,
are they happy though?
Some of them are, some of them aren't. But the ones that aren't are doing shit that they actually like don't like. Mm-hmm. And the ones that are happy are the ones that are doing what they actually like to do, which is like for example, one of my friends is an elevator mechanic, and he actually like likes working on elevators. So like he works like overtime all the time, and he works like a shit ton of hours. And he makes good money, and I don't know. Maybe in the future he could make his own company, but like it doesn't sound like he has any cares to, you know?
Yeah.
And I have other friends that are doing jobs that are like miserable at, and they're just like doing it because they think the paycheck is good.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. If you're getting a good paycheck though, and you're gaining experience on something, and you're in your 20s, that is as close to ideal as possible. You know, not everyone.
Right. But I think that's like to a point. Because if you accept that for your whole life, it's a bit different.
Yeah, just in your 20s, especially if you're ambitious.
Yeah.
Like you do kind of have to be patient, but you're not looking at it as, oh, I'm going to work a job. You're working at it as, you know, you said job shadowing. You know, I'm just, I'm gathering intel on this whole, you know. And it's definitely a mindset switch when you're thinking as an owner versus thinking as an employee. But you have to be ideally in a small or medium-sized business to really get what's going on and see that it's not all that hard. Yeah. I mean, what we do online is not hard.
Yeah, like if I was 20 or like 19 again, I'd just like, let's just say I was at ground zero and I had like no blueprints or references to go off of, I would literally like contact somebody like you or somebody like anybody else in the space and be like, can I work for you for free? And like, I'll do a fucking good job.
Yep.
You know,
my brother, he graduated computer engineering at the University of California, Berkeley, and then he went to. It was really hard to find like good paying work then, and he wanted to work at a number of places, but he went to George Lucas, Star Wars, Industrial Light and Magic, and I think he applied for an internship, and they really didn't or applied for a job or something, and he wasn't getting. There was so many applicants. I think he made it through a few rounds or something. But my dad told him, you go in there and you say you will work the entire summer for free, because it was so it was a job. It wasn't an internship. And they saw that, and the terms were, I work all summer for free, and fire me if you don't want me to come back. And then from there, he spent 4 months over the summer, and then he was hired by ILM. And he did movies and Jurassic Park. He helped do the graphics for Twister, Casper the Ghost, X-Men, Spawn, special effects. Not an actor, but he did the special effects, help with the special effects, a part of a huge team.
Yeah.
But that was my dad's advice to him. And my brother at the time was like, I'm not working for free.
Yeah.
That's not the point, though.
Yeah.
The point is to learn and get your foot in the door. It's more valuable than whatever paycheck you can get anyway at that age.
Yeah.
So,
Sure.
Yeah, Derek's absolutely right. If you can get your foot in the door, even if it means trading your labor for free. And it's not for free. You're getting an enormous wealth of information.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and like if you can set yourself apart from other candidates, like no one else is gonna think of that shit.
yeah.
Like there was this guy I knew, and his way of getting jobs was, because obviously there's the typical way to get hired for a standard job is you see a job posting, they're like, okay, send in your resume and your cover letter to here, tell us why you're good for the job, and you have the standard like,
Tell us your strengths and
yeah,
weaknesses.
responsible, reliable, team player, blah blah blah. And like this guy, what he would do is he would like borderline harass companies until the owner met with them. He'd be like, I want a meeting with you, and like I want to work for you. And he'd be like, I'm going to tell you exactly why you would want me to work for you, and I want a meeting. And he would like literally like just call companies nonstop until they'd have a meeting with him. And like, I don't know, just like his fucking persistence, he would get hired like wherever the fuck he wanted.
If someone did that to you, what do you think of that? I'm easily ticked off by like,
yeah, I'd probably like knock him into the spam folder. But if he was like, he had some like impressive like thing, like if he knew I needed like a designer or something for like thumbnails, for example, and he was like, look at my fucking thumbnails, like stop ignoring me. And like I actually like looked at one of them and they were good, and he was saying like, I'll work for free or something too. Like I'd probably talk to him or give him, like, he would set himself apart from like a million other people.
Yeah. I will say though,
granted, it's not gonna,
someone who has that attitude in the hiring process, once you start paying them, like they're gonna be a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying, for somebody who's trying, I'm not giving somebody advice who's an employer. I'm saying if you're trying to get hired, that's like a potential strategy that I know one guy did, because otherwise you're just in a pile of papers.
Yeah.
Like you got to do something to set yourself apart.
Yeah.
And whether it's, saying
it's worth a try. There's
like,
no harm. I mean, I guess if you get blacklisted from every business in the city, you can just move.
True.
But
that's a possibility too.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's like a dating website. You've already gone through all the girls. You can either fuck them or piss them off, and it's just
or you like approach the same chick twice.
Yeah.
You like have hit on everyone in the area.
Yeah.
You said this to me yesterday.
They never like, as long as you didn't creep them out, they're usually like, they think it's kind of funny. And then once you realize, you're like, it's funny.
Yeah, especially if you say the exact same fucking opener.
Yeah.
I know this is random, but I thought you were cute. It's like, it's not that random. You saw me yesterday.
Groundhog Day.
It's like, oh, fuck.
Deja vu. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember that contest you held? It was like the first contest ever for like, I don't think you did many. You might have done like 2. And it was like, what's the creepiest thing you can do on video or some shit?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just thinking because
these days I wouldn't like, do that kind of stuff, man.
Okay. Never mind.
Well, no. It's things have changed. And it's not just like, oh, reality is what you believe it is.
Do you remember what me and Jared's submission was? We won. I don't know if you remember. We won a free size genetics.
Oh,
you don't remember what the contest was though?
Well, it's something to film yourself doing.
Yeah, but do you remember what we did or no?
No, what?
Okay, so I remember I went to the mall with him this one day, and we were like, the reason I even remember in the first place is we were talking about hitting on the same chick twice.
Yeah.
And I remember like that mall, I said the same thing to one chick twice, and it like really fucking threw off my mindset. And that's just like why I remembered it. But anyway, I remember we were at that same mall, and we like went up to some. My thing was I was going up to girls and asking them if they queefed in the middle of the mall, and I'd be like, I'd like say it very convincingly. I'd be like, oh, like disgusted, and it obviously threw a lot of girls off, and it was like super fucking cringy.
Yeah.
But it was a good submission. And then Jared's was like, he went up to some chick. This isn't even that funny thinking back to it now. At the time, it seemed hilarious, and now I'm like saying it out loud, and it seems really stupid. But he was like, he went up.
No,
to
in the moment, that's funny.
when he went to a chick. No, this one might not be though. He went up to this chick, and he was like, "Will you shit in my mouth?"
Oh, yeah.
And then she was like, "What?" And he's like, "Will you shit in my mouth?" And she's like, "No." And he's like, "Okay, thanks."
Yeah.
Yeah. So but I think the point was like to be as creepy as possible.
Right.
Yeah. But
And realize that, like, once you walk away. It's
at the
all over.
time, I remember being like, "That was fucking sick, dude." Now I'm like thinking back, I'm like, "Ugh."
You guys are going out together, like, amping each other up. Like,
Yeah.
that's fun, though.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd like videotape each other and shit, and we'd come back and be like, "Oh, looks sick, bro." Yeah. I still have those videos too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I
You
should do like,
compile them and, like,
yeah.
talk about how.
You know, I have a video of my first number I've ever got.
Really?
That's like some monumental shit. It
Yeah.
was like me at like 19 going up to some chick in the mall.
Uh-huh.
And
Did you see the girl again?
No.
Okay. Well, that's okay.
But it doesn't matter. Like I didn't give a fuck. I got
Right.
like a number, even if it was like a blow off. Like it doesn't matter
right.
to me.
Yeah. It didn't end in tragedy or something.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter. So, but like the fact that I have that on camera and like, I still remember some of those threads. It would be like 7 years ago. You'd be like good video, guys. Like blah blah blah. And I'd be like, oh, Chris fucking gave us like some feedback. Sick. Yeah.
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 I think GLL could have been. Well, remember, like, GLL was me after GLL. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I was writing about the past. But like we said yesterday, you can't, like, you can't have. It's a business. A blog is a business if you're treating it seriously. And you can't be having this, you know, going out 5 nights a week or something like I did for a number of years.
It wouldn't even be feasible to write those articles.
It
doing
wouldn't
that.
be. It
Yeah.
wouldn't be, especially if I was getting laid. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because you're spending more time with. Yeah, it's just. So I feel the timing was off, but it wasn't off by that much. I wish I had incorporated Scotty more, but neither of us had any money, and he lived in New York and I lived in LA, and
Oh really? I thought
Yeah.
you guys for some reason like lived in the same area.
we did when he came out to LA for a bit, and then
Is his family in New York, or why does he live there?
they were in New York. I think they all moved to to give it away, in the South.
Okay.
So yeah, he got away from New York. But yeah, he was born and raised on Long Island, and it was well, no one ever saw, like, I did what I could and got video of what I could, but you know, this was before. This is shooting this on on a phone.
Yeah.
You know, we're just these videos today where they're perfectly shot. And, you know, there's 3 camera angles. Okay, yeah. But the videos on the phone, the grainy footage, but then you can't hear what's going on.
Yeah.
He looked like he could be flashy, but he wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
He had pretty monotone voice and really white teeth, and he just smiled all the time. So you get a guy who looks like, you know, he just got out of prison, and he's got a big smile on his face, good-looking built and stuff like that. It's like, certain girls like really would dig that. So I would always say, like, when it came to strictly getting laid, best I've ever seen, honestly, fastest I've ever seen, and that's all he went for. You know, he went for the low hanging fruit, and it was like from watching him, also myself though, that I got the whole sexual availability type of thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was just like time and place. In a way, it is getting lucky.
Did you come up with all like the names of those concepts, or was he sort of?
Yeah, I got them all.
Oh, nice.
I put them into words, I guess, and yeah, it was no regrets from it at all.
Would you change the approach anxiety program?
Yep.
If you redid it?
Yeah, well, I'd make it more current for one, and then it would be, I don't know. I think I always wanted to make it like, and I'm not about selling dating advice, but if I really did put like 1,000 hours or 2,000 hours into creating it, it would be something like $10 or something for, and it would be a video of every drill and stuff like that. I didn't have anyone to tape. I don't know. It was just, there was a lot of, I would do it differently.
Yeah.
For one, I could barely like write a blog post without the pictures being on one side and everything. So there was a bit of that until I found that out. But Yeah, I think I would do the AA thing differently. I don't even know that I would call it AA. I try to distance yourself from those terms.
Yeah.
But the concept's effective. Exposure therapy works for anything, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, as far as I think somebody said, has money changed you at all or your personality? That was like a question.
Good question. No, because my personality, well, I don't know. It's hard to say because my personality evolves as now I'm 36 years old.
Right.
And working on GLL, I guess I was like, the very earliest was maybe 28 or 29.
Yeah.
But it's still almost like it's a decade ago.
Was it? I thought you were doing it at my age already.
26. No, 26 I was still 27, 28. It's the years that I go by. So 2008 was like the epicenter of like when I was going out.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, it kind of tailed off. And then,
I remember it starting in, because I joined in 2012, and I thought 2011 was like, your first posts were in like November, December 2011.
right. Okay. So the pickup thing, it was probably like a little bit as early as 2006, but I didn't do shit. It's like the first year of just goofing off and like, wow, I need to read all these books.
Yeah.
So, you know, it got real 2008, 2009, and then tail end of, so I would say it was 4 years, but realistically it was like the all the time partying and going out thing, that was like 2.5 years. That's so much though.
Yeah, if you're doing that full time.
Yeah.
It's like, I felt like for me, doing it full time for like a year straight was like the equivalent of like a lifetime of any other dude, like realistically. Like if you're actually like trying to do it like every fucking day of your life pretty much.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to do it.
Yeah, you could talk to more girls in a single week than some guys would in their entire lives.
Yeah.
You know?
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And keeping that in mind is like good because we talked about, this is something that we chatted about recently, just guys comparing themselves to not, you know, to people like that they look up to. And like Dan Bilzerian, back to him, he's a good example. I mentioned him in my blog post that people say, well, yeah, Dan Bilzerian's like top 1% guy. No, he's top in terms of wealth and fame, top 0.0000001% guy.
Yeah.
You know, arguably, how many people are on the face of the earth? What, like,
I don't know.
Google how many people live on Earth.
Here's what I found.
7.7 billion. You could argue that Dan is 1 in 7.7 billion. None like the what he's built.
Yeah.
You know, persona.
Yeah.
He's not top 1%. Top 1% is 1 out of 100 guys. Dan is 1 out of 7.7 billion.
Yeah.
You know, just what he's built. And you know, just it doesn't matter how he did it or did he play poker? That doesn't matter. But a lot of guys will compare themselves to just people who are older than them.
Yeah.
People just start a podcast. They're just like, Joe Rogan has this many people. It's like, okay, well, you've been at it 20 minutes. So,
Yeah.
and then they get discouraged.
Yeah.
They get discouraged. It's just,
Gets back to the low standards sort of and the low goals for
Yeah.
starting shit. Like you're supposed to have high goals, but I mean like for realistic, like hitting, like staying committed.
yeah.
Having the lower goals is more conducive to long-term success.
A lot of things have to come together, and that's why most are successful, like really start to build their own thing that starts to work in their latter 20s. Because take Good Looking Loser, for example, okay? Did pick up 4 years, okay? 2.5 full-time, okay? It's that. And despite what maybe other people say about me, I am intelligent. I know how to write very well. So those two things came together with also, you know, the courage or balls to do it. And then you have GLL. So just because, I mean, there's probably guys that got girls better than me or Brian or any of the best, you know, PUAs out there or something like that, but they'll never have a business or blog online about it. because those, like, maybe they're not a good writer, or maybe
Yeah.
they're just like, oh, I don't want people to know that I do this stuff. You know, there's a lot of shit that has to come together for you to have a business that you've created. And that doesn't usually come together in your early 20s. So you should be gathering experience then, you know? Like, who fucking cares? Okay, so you're a late bloomer. You start a business at age 39, you know, and it's a multi-million-dollar business. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Right? It's like, you guys are not old.
Yeah.
Honestly, you watching this video, you are not old. And if you are actually old and you're watching this video, well then great, your mind's in the right place.
Yeah.
You've been lied to most of your life, but you know, it's just simply being born in North America. Derek's Canadian, I'm American. I think you're like I saw a stat the other day, you're in the top 0.001% of wealth in the entire world.
Wow.
Yeah. And I don't know if that includes if you're like homeless, but even the homeless were in like the top 1% of the world
Wow.
just by living in North America.
Huh.
I don't know if Mexico qualifies.
Yeah, I was
but
gonna say.
yeah, I'd have to reread that, but that's some perspective right there.
Yeah.
Do you want to travel? Just say no. Like, I didn't when I was your age. That's the one thing I didn't do.
No.
I
not
wanted
really.
to. I had this vision of like pickup guy Chris.
Yeah,
like I would
dude.
I'd go to France
Yeah.
and get
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Parisian pussy. I'd go to Italy and
Yeah, so like basically my mindset was like
never did it.
Yeah, so I was like it was okay. It was like the first initial thought you have when you get into pickup shit is like you think of like American Pie first of all with like college. And you think of like, oh, I want to go to frat parties. I want to get like pussy handed to me on like a silver platter.
Yeah.
Because that's how it works.
Yeah.
Is how you think. And you get laid a bunch and then you get sick at game because you read the game and you know all the strategies and the tactics. And you're like, you've got all the fucking, you know, the smooth moves and whatnot. And you have all this experience. And now I'm going to go to Europe and I'm going to go like tag like 10 hot European girls.
International playboy.
And then I'm going to go to fucking Las Vegas and I'm going to go have like some sick like weekend and tag like 3 other chicks.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to go around the world and travel and do this and that. But it's like, once I realized that.
And that's possible.
Yeah.
There's guys doing that right now, but
like, it's only if that's like actually fulfills you somehow. Cause like I just quickly realized there's attractive girls where I live that are just as sexually available as any other place on the planet, and
it's
still
a 15-minute drive.
Yeah, versus like a fucking $3,000 flight that I'm sitting on for 10 hours to get somewhere that I can speak to somebody who speaks English shitty to try and get them into the bed still.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like the same net result.
Right.
It's just like a story for your buddies that you think is sick because you're in Paris. And
Some people enjoy it. I think some people do enjoy like, you know, seeing different cultures and stuff, but fuck, we have YouTube. You know, I want to learn about South Africa. You know, it's just type.
Yeah, there's some shit that I do want to do. Like, I want to go to like an all-inclusive resort on like a sick beach and just like chill and like eat and like drink drinks and like hang out.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to Disney World. That was like something I just did. There's some stuff I like want to do, but there's a lot of like the classic like wanderlust like teenage girl dream where they're like, I need to go backpack like around the fucking planet on like with $10 to my name. It's like, fuck that. And every time I date girls when they're like, you know, it'd be awesome to go like backpack around Europe and to go in like hostels and shit. I'm like, no, like,
You know, it'd be better that like ice cream we have in the fridge.
yeah, I know. Or like if I'm gonna go on vacation, like not sleep in a shack with somebody who's gonna like be on the bottom bunk that I don't know and have like a bunch of bums around me and have a shower and like all this shit, you know? Like to me, it's not appealing having a backpack with like one shirt in it.
It's funny how people assume that that's like everyone's dream.
Yeah,
You know?
it is a lot of chicks' dreams for some reason. It's like, I don't know. It's like their like version of like an adventure is like putting on a shitty backpack with like one outfit and like getting around the entire planet somehow.
Oh, that's interesting. Girls where I was from, they was just like being like a MILF or something was their ultimate goal. So
Being a MILF.
yeah, just
funny.
long-term goals. # long-term goals.
Well, I think there's like 2 stereotypical chicks that like a lot of them act like subconsciously fall into these categories. One's like the caregiver who like wants to have kids and like could also be like a gold digger because she just like wants to provide for her kid, because that's like her ultimate goal is just to be like a mom, have kids, or just like enjoy like a good life.
Yeah.
And then there's like the chick who wants to go to like every fucking place on the planet with no money to her name, and like I don't know, like to me it's not appealing to go to like Thailand with no money and like be worried about fucking
getting raped.
Yeah, you know? Like I don't know, like I don't think they think of it like that. Even my girl, she was like talking about like not that long ago. She's like, how like cool would it be to go to like this like place in Mexico or whatever and just like backpack around? I was like, how about we just go to like an all-inclusive resort in Mexico and like enjoy it, not worry about like
have people bring us food.
Yeah, and like not worry about like not having a fucking clean pair of underwear the next day.
Yeah.
Like, you know? Like
She's younger though.
a lot younger. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that's part of it.
Yeah.
I would think. Yeah. Yeah, the travel, I mean, I probably have a journal here or somewhere that, because I was into like, real successful, productive men keep a journal. So I was like doing that because I read it somewhere on a blog that had a lot of comments. So it was great. I write in my journal 3 hours a day. And then I realized, I was like, why am I writing in my journal? I need to be doing like, instead of thinking all this shit, I need to go do it.
Yeah.
And that was a big insight at the time, because I got pretty into the personal improvement stuff. At the time it was like David D'Angelo and that kind of stuff. And there was some good advice, but it was like, you have to trust your instinct more. Yeah. Even if you don't know shit, that's the thing. You can trust your instinct, but remember that you don't know shit.
Yeah.
And be willing to change. Because a lot of people either don't trust their instinct, they're going to do what their parents or society, kind of pushes them into, or they do trust their instinct, but they're so fucking hard-headed about it that it's just like, that's not going to make them better either.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess we're back to the whole point. Like, if you're in your early 20s, you feel you're struggling. It's like, look, no one in their 20s is successful, okay? Not early 20s, not really.
And even if they are, they're like the 0.0001% that you're watching on like YouTube that you think is like, you create this unrealistic standard. Because like I've done that before.
Yeah, and the people on YouTube, they don't make that much money.
Yeah, so a lot of them are like, even one thing I found out about a lot of these like make money online guys is they'd like, when you spend a shit ton of money on ads, you can generate sales, but if you're breaking even on those ads, you have zero profit, but you can still show a fucking balance sheet that shows I had $1 million revenue.
Right.
And
then take that and sell your program.
Yeah. Yeah, right. I didn't realize that was like such a common thing, but apparently that's what most of them do.
Yeah. Perception's reality, man.
Yeah. Because it's like, well, what was your ad spend to get that $1 million? So how much did you make? $0? Oh. Yeah. And it's like, you don't actually realize how like a lot of these people you look up to might not even be what you think you're aspiring to be, so it's like unrealistic to create these. You're fucking 20 and you have like, you just started life, you're like a fucking baby still.
You were here at my place last Christmas, and there was, I don't know if you were there or you'd left, but there was some guys, I think they were like 17 years old, and they were talking about YouTubers they watched, and and one guy just kept saying, so someone had like 3 million subscribers, he goes, that guy is $3 million.
No.
And I'm just overhearing this, and I really want to step in. I'm just like, look, subscribers do not equal conversion. It depends what products they're selling, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, this guy is like $5 million. It's subscribers, but he's somehow thinking that, and he was like, if he sold something that was just $10, that's $50 million. No, like, it's not how it works.
Yeah, it's not. Especially
conversions on YouTube for your mainstream things. Oh, this show is brought to you by Squarespace. Yeah. You can build a website 0.00001%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one thing a lot of people don't realize is kind of on the same topic is like these channels that focus on creating viral content that get easy subscribers, like prank and like, like prank channels that do like crazy shit and they get like tons of views every time.
Yeah.
They aren't seen as authorities of information. They're seen as entertainment.
Yeah.
So like not only do they get demonetized because their content's like way too edgy for YouTube, so they don't make any money on views.
Do they demonetize the prank videos now?
Most of them, yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, they demonetize.
I never watched prank videos. So.
Yeah. Anyway, so like they get a lot of views, but they're like demonetized, so they barely make money. At least most of them, I think.
Right.
And then in addition, they don't give any value in their videos. Like it's entertainment, which I guess is value, but it's like you don't have a fucking skill that you're trying to teach, nor do you have a product that's like desirable. You're just like a personality with entertainment. So when you try to sell something, no one gives a fuck because it's like some shitty T-shirt that has your name on it.
Plus, the people that are watching aren't interested in buying; they're interested in laughing or something.
Yeah, they'll be like, they'll like call you a sellout or something. Whereas like I have like like 26,000 or whatever, and like I could talk about like I don't even do fucking coaching because I don't have the time. But like people would pay probably pretty good money. Like I charged $100 for a consultation. Like people would pay that because they trust, my guidance in certain aspects of bodybuilding, hair loss prevention, pharmacology of such and such drugs.
Yeah.
Versus like a prank channel is a million times bigger audience than me. They'd make way less money just because of
easily.
Yeah. So like it doesn't come down to the numbers.
You know what he was saying? So this kid was saying, 5.8 million subscribers. This guy has $5.8 million. Then he was going into the videos. Okay, this one video, 300,000 views in 2 days, which is great.
Yeah.
But he was like, he made $300,000 in 2 days. Okay, not only
was it those same kids that are
one of them,
Yeah.
don't remember any of their names. They're from Oregon.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one guy was
because I was here 2 years ago, not last year.
Oh,
but
right,
I'm assuming it's the same group of kids.
Yeah, I don't remember if it happened this year or the last year. I think it actually happened the last year, but you were there. They like came back. So I don't know.
Anyway,
yeah, they were literally this video has 300,000 views, therefore this guy just made $300,000. But wouldn't they know that like if they put a video on themselves, upload it to YouTube, and it got 6 views, it's like that's not 6. They just totally did not know how anything worked.
Yeah.
And so certain members of the family is like, Chris does a thing on YouTube, so maybe you should talk to him about it. I'm like, please, no. First off, the content with them, no. And
even though
they would tell me how they would tell me how it works.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I hate to say it, but that I never did this like coaching stuff because very start, but that was like infield stuff, but the consultations, it made some exceptions, but a lot of people that came to ask for my advice came to tell me just give me their advice on themselves.
Right.
Yeah. I just can't
I'm kind of shocked how many people are like in like extended family or like social circles of your, the people you communicate with and locally and whatnot.
Right.
And how few people ask you for advice who like could be talking about something they need advice on that's like literally what you're an expert in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, go ask Chris,
Don't tell him that.
Yeah.
Don't tell him that.
I don't know, man. Like, to me, it's nuts. Like, even my own family and friend, my girl or like her, like extended family or whatever, they have like a diet issue or something.
Yeah.
And they'll like go do like a fucking juice fast.
Oh my.
And I'm like, buddy, like I'm right here. I'm right fucking here. Like I've been
exactly.
doing this for like a
Do you
decade.
see me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, do you really like, they'll be like, oh, I'm like doing this thing. And I'm like, that's fucking stupid. Like, how about you ask me how to like not die doing a diet? And like,
Yeah. So what do? Do you intervene and say?
I try and like offer free fucking help. And then they just like won't take me up on it. And I'm like, well, I can only like help.
Well, you wonder why you're stuck with excess weight on you that you can't get off.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like because you're not using the resources that you have that could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's nuts.
And then the second half, the juice fast is such a good example because the same thing happened with members of the family.
Yeah.
And I thought about it. I'm just like, well, I can teach you to not eat carbs, but okay, you want to eat the strawberry shake or whatever, and apples and
sugar all day. For my fast.
Right, because like fruit's good for you, right? Therefore, it's a weight loss, make you lose weight.
Yeah.
No, it just the juice fast is a perfect example because it occurs to me in my old age that sometimes you have to just let people do stuff and just like I don't know. You could say I told you so, but you just like
Yeah.
that's just factually wrong.
Yeah. I used to like really like try and intervene because I'd be like, I don't know. I sort of had like an ego about how I
Right.
know everything, and I'm like, I'm an expert. Like, let me help you do it. But then, in addition, like, I want to help people. But then it gets to a point where it's like you're forcing them to try and let you help them, and they're like still not even like taking it seriously.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you need to just like fail on your own to like figure out that it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not gonna say shit unless you like actually like really want my help and like go out of your
And
way.
do it.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah. Like to this day, I actually can't even remember one time where I've had any family member or anyone who's had like a health implication or like a diet related thing or anything. And like these are common occurrences among like, you know, anyone who's ever come to me for advice.
Yeah.
Like even my sister has acid reflux, like chronically. And like what the reason is because if you don't have enough acid in your diet, your body has to compensate, and it like basically results in acid reflux because you don't have, you know, you could easily solve it by having like apple cider vinegar or something like that. So you put this extra acid in your body, and then you don't have this backlog into your digestive tract that goes up and like burns your fucking throat apart essentially. And she's had it for like years straight.
Yeah.
And like I've just said, like, you know, if you just have this, it'll go away.
Yeah.
Instead, she's taking like medication that she doesn't need and like continues to like not fucking fix her diet.
Yeah.
And it's like
Derek's not a doctor.
yeah.
I mean, I think that maybe goes through their, I don't know. And then just through the years, you pick up all this like pharmacy and different propaganda that, whether you know it or not, just like affects how you think and stuff like that. I will say though, my girl comes to me on every single subject, and because I would probably think less of, you know, not stuff I don't know about. Hey,
Yeah.
Chris, how do you ride this bike? I'm not the guy. I'm not the guy, but financial. I can't say so much like physique because I hardly have that, but that could be included in the past.
Yeah.
Health and, I mean, you know, the stuff that we talk about, but that's her. And family members don't, but it kind of makes it easy for me. A perfect example, my girl's brother, little brother, he came home one day talking about how great joining the army would be. Awesome. Like they live like kings. They fuck all these. I don't know what army you're talking about. Yeah. And travel the world. That was one thing. I understand that. He didn't want to work at the UPS store or something like that. So he wanted to do that. And we said, no. You do something else.
Yeah.
Not that. And it was only me and my girl telling him that. The rest of his family was like, oh, yeah, chase your dreams, you know. So he signs up for the army, fucking hates it, was terrible, was miserable, more depressed than he ever was in his entire life. And
Is that the youngest one?
yeah. And then somehow is able to get him, with a little help from me, get himself out.
Right.
I don't know how he did it, but, you know, it was an honorable discharge. He did have some health complications that played into that, so, but it wouldn't have mattered. I realized, and that was the thing that between the juice fast and joining the army, I was just like, you got to go out, you got to see how it sucks for yourself, you know.
It's almost like your mom and dad.
I would take my advice though. If you like if you were younger, you found someone who like had a lot of shit figured out, you'd be like, yo, what do I do? You'd be nagging.
Yeah,
I would be too.
People fucking send you money trying to ask for advice, and like even if you don't have time, they'll be like, "Can I please fucking send you money for you to give me this advice?" And then somebody like close to you who knows you even better than everyone would like not even take it for free, which is insane.
It's a red pill, blue pill thing, man. We talked about that on the car coming home, or our buddy was talking about that. Yeah. You know, some people are just like on our little, you know, section of the internet. You know, that goes beyond like PUA, manosphere, you know, the greater like alternative men's community, self-improvement, you know. We all think like the same way, you know, or we're all trying to think the same way, and we run into normies, and it's just like what the fuck? Yeah. You know, and it's actually their kind of mindset and view of the world that's actually the more prevalent one. Yeah. But it's just like, but they don't want to A lot of people think they're open-minded. They're not open-minded. They're open to trying to change someone else's mind to their opinion. Not that many people. I don't know that I was that open-minded one, but I do know if I saw some successful guy, I'd want to pick his brain for fucking hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've paid like hundreds of dollars,
Yeah.
thousands of dollars to just like ask people for advice on shit.
Yeah. It's an investment. You're investing in yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Have you ever actually seen the Matrix movies with the blue pill, red pill?
embarrassingly enough, yes, I did at my buddy's place, but we were all drunk and I honestly wasn't watching. There's no excuse for me not to watch it. People used to call me Keanu Reeves all the time when I was like younger,
really?
before I got like real jacked.
I thought they called you Mario Lopez.
Yeah, there was that too. But when I was like, it was at the same time, I guess. My bro really does look like Keanu Reeves. But anyway, continue. Matrix.
No, I was just asking if you've seen it because I've like put them on, but not watched them thoroughly myself.
It's long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Or I think how many is there? 3?
I'll put that on the goals list. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't even. It's supposed to be good, but and you'd think we'd have watched it.
I
but-
am wired between like the mindset in my early 20s. It all started after like I dropped out of law school to move to LA to do pickup.
Right.
And personal training and stuff like that. But it was just to get girls. My life just went this other like, I'm on the track. Maybe I'm transferring colleges, and then okay, I get into law school, I get a scholarship, and then all of a sudden it just like veers off into this other direction where there's some other people over here. But I have a hard time just like talking to people. For one, my life isn't that entertaining. I mean, we can talk for hours, but like average guy, me in the bar, I have trouble.
Yeah.
It's just because I don't,
When you were younger, though, and you were like really into that, that's like something I've noticed. That's almost like, Mike was saying on the way back, how you almost need to like go out a little bit and like expose yourself to like normal shit. You know what I mean?
Talking. But yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, like you need to like expose yourself to like a little bit of like
Yeah.
normal stuff, because like when you get like cooped up for too long, you kind of like I've noticed that because I've been pretty much working on a computer for like 3 years straight.
Yeah.
You start to like become more of like a social recluse. You start to become
You
a bit
become
more
the computer.
Yeah, you get a bit more like awkward and shit. And it's like you can have like normal conversations with people who have like-minded to you.
Yeah.
But like back in the day when I was doing like the approach anxiety stuff, well, not even approach anxiety because I skipped the whole program. But when I was doing approaching, I would go up to like groups that I didn't even fucking know, and I'd have like amazing conversations.
Yeah.
I was never the life of the party, but I could go up to like a chick in like a group with dudes who I didn't know, and by the end of the conversation be
Yeah.
friends with the guys and still like get the chick I wanted.
Yeah.
Now doing that, like fathoming, like it would seem
Fathoming having a conversation with somebody.
it's like obviously it's something that I feel like it's like muscle memory. We could easily
Just gonna say that.
yeah, because like I remember when
Or riding a bike.
yeah, like my first relationship when I got out of it and I like went back to like the pickup stuff again,
Yeah.
which was like a few years ago still. It was like muscle memory where I was like, fuck, it's like starting at ground zero, but then
Yeah.
you get back up to where you were at like way
Yeah.
quicker. But even like now after being like out of it for like 3 years or whatever, it feels like in your head just going out, it's like there's like a layer of awkwardness, like more so the more you like get into the computer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if there's like something to be said there, but like putting yourself, like you said, do something once a week.
Yeah,
That's,
it's.
like,
I think it's a combination of stuff. It's the fact that you're not interacting with anybody for like
Yeah.
weeks at a time,
Yeah.
other than virtually, and
it's almost like you become the lonesome bodybuilder, but computer version.
yeah, the lonesome programmer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
which is such a stereotypical thing. Yeah, but I was always like, if I did, because I lived alone most times when I was like in college in LA. I lived alone, and I don't know that was good, but I got a couple brothers and sisters, but they're all older than me. Like I was kind of an only child growing up, so I was much more comfortable living alone. And I love my privacy, I love my time, but it was at the expense of having some like cool roommates or something, or having some shitty roommates, and at
Yeah.
least interacting with them. But just doing something like different one day a week. I remember in LA, it was like. It's a bad example because I was constantly social and talking to girls, but I would just say like I would just blurt out like what I was doing in the middle of a conversation. Hey, I'm going to the beach. And they're like, oh, you're like, yep, going to the beach. But I was actually doing that. So I could actually tell them, oh yeah, it was, the beach was clean. I don't have that now. Okay, what am I doing? I'm going home. I'm checking these stats. I'm logging into my bank account. I'm looking at
ship
it.
Station.
I'm checking ship station. It's like those topics are just like,
It's like what?
yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
know what you
But it's just like as boring as what other people are doing, but you know it's boring, so you like don't even want to talk about it.
Even when my girlfriend's like, how's your day? I'm like, good. She's like, what'd you do? I'm just like,
check ship station.
yeah. It's like the same fucking shit I did yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh man. But it's not that interesting of a life once you get really into it, to be honest.
Right.
I don't know.
And we talked about it. The key is not to have a balanced life. That's definitely not what we're pushing. 6 hours of work, 6 hours of play a day. Not.
Yeah.
Maybe after you achieved your financial goals, your relationship goals, all that kind of stuff. Sure. But it's like do something fucking fun once a week. Like that. Start there. And if you actually have fun doing something fun, maybe make it 2 times a week, but no more than that. Here's a balanced week for me. Okay. 7 days of work, and then I do something fun. But when you enjoy what you do, like you don't have to splurge, because that's like terrible. Like the average person, like they get 2 years, or they get 2 weeks of vacation a year. They'll go on one in the summer, and then maybe one in the winter or the fall.
Yeah.
And they've blown all the money they've made all year just to get that relief to like go off and oof.
Brutal.
I'm so happy that wasn't me.
Yeah. You don't have to ask for fucking vacation time.
Yeah.
Just do it when you want to. Yeah. What's your what have you even done for vacations? You've been to Vegas a lot. You've been to Paris for the honeymoon and stuff.
I went to the Bahamas and Paris for my honeymoon, and the reason we picked those is Kratom is legal in both of them.
Oh, really?
That's what I based my whole thing on. Not the whole thing, but goddamn, the Bahamas was so much better than Paris. So much better. We were staying at Hotel George 3, or what would that be? No, George V. Okay, so we were staying near the Champs-Élysées on George V. $2,995 a night.
The fuck?
I know. And there was nothing about that hotel, including the service of, I think it was a Four Seasons, that matched anything, including the food in the Bahamas. We stayed at a real nice resort, Atlantis, top floor and everything like that. But it was nowhere near $3,000 a night.
Is that the Atlantis with the water park in it?
It is, and they have this new build. Yeah, they got that bridge and everything across the thing. But they have this new wing in this new hotel, and we stayed in one of the good ones for that. But even that was, I don't know, it was probably $1,000 or something. But nearly $3,000 in the in Paris, and the room sucked.
Yeah,
it sucked, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, I can't pretend. I mean, my girl, it's always gonna be happy, and it's always gonna be positive.
Yeah.
And it's just I had a hard time doing there, so I was kind of grumpy.
Yeah.
I'm like, look at these coffee cups. What a bunch of pussies. Why is it so small?
Yeah.
And just getting frustrated with it. So I don't know. But the good news, once you get ripped off like that, and it was a honeymoon, okay? I'm not going to try to bring everything down, but you get ripped off like that, you remember. Yeah. And you say, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
All right, this hotel looks no, I'm just not doing that again.
Yeah.
So you get ripped off, fool me once, okay, but.
Did you ever go on vacations when you were in your PUA phase? Like you said, you didn't travel at all, so I'm assuming.
I never left LA once I got out there. I didn't even go home for Christmas the first year.
So you've never gone abroad to pick up?
No, not to pick up. I went to the UK with a girl I was dating, but that was.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
no.
Briefly, and her and her family, psychopath girl. But I was.
That's
I
funny.
was.
My Europe trip, I just remembered girlfriend, family. Sort not a psychopath, but not probably just as bad. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
do you have like any destinations you want to go to, or do you just like not really?
I
care that
love
much?
Vegas. I really do. And people think, oh,
Did we even answer that question yesterday? Where he was like, "Where are you gonna move? Vegas?"
Vegas. I love Vegas. And when I say I get recognized in Vegas a ton more than any other city, even when I lived in
What
LA.
do they call you? Good looking loser or hey Chris?
Chris, yeah.
I get like randomly guys at my gym like more plates, more dudes.
Oh. Well,
It's
yeah.
kind of funny.
Yeah. I love Vegas, and we gotta go there this summer if we can. And
I don't want to go near the Olympia, really though.
okay.
Yeah, I'd rather go like before that, like on.
Oh
spot.
no, we don't want to go when it's a zoo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you want to?
Which is funny because you'd think I'd want to go to the Olympia.
Yeah.
But
Well, why
like,
don't you?
I don't know, just like the shit ton of people, and also just like
People are so sweaty at the Olympics.
I don't know, like I'm in like sort of in the fitness industry, but I kind of like don't like the whole like expo shit and like
Yeah.
I'd watch the show online, but like I don't want to be like in that fucking scene.
Yeah.
Like pool parties with like also just like I'd probably just feel like I want to crank my mind out by like seeing everyone like sauce to the gills, which I like don't want to do.
Yeah.
See like everyone that I've like the reason why I like cranked when I was younger.
Yeah.
And being like, oh, I gotta like sauce it up again.
Yeah.
Once I see like everyone like 4% walking around
Ha.
the pool.
One day you will see that and feel sorry for those people.
Yeah.
Might
I'm like
be-
getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not quite though.
Just be like, it was like that for me when I saw this kid on coming down from cocaine, and we were in like this diner after partying or something. I didn't get laid that night, so I ended up at a diner with a group of friends. And I saw this one guy. He was just like, I could tell he was just coming down from stuff, and it was really bad. And I just looked at him, just like, I'm so happy I don't feel that way. I know exactly what that feels like, and I'm so happy that I don't feel that way. And it's kind of like that for bodybuilding too. I see guys like walking around trying to take up space. I'm just like, I remember how insecure I was when I walked around like that. I do. So it's not. The result of that isn't like, okay, go to the gym never.
Yeah.
Which like that's kind of like what
Yeah.
not never, but Vegas. I love Vegas. I'm a pretty big snob when it comes to some stuff. I'm not pretentious, but I'm definitely a snob. And one of the reasons I love Vegas is people think of Vegas maybe being trashy and whores and everything like that and drugs. There's definitely that, but I think it's the south side of the strip where the Wynn is and the nice luxury hotels are, beautiful casinos. We like that area more. It's super clean. It's super nice. It's incredible up there. So Vegas, there's like two worlds. There's the party and the drugs, pool party, clubbing and that kind of stuff, and prostitutes, which is, I guess, legal there. I don't know. And then there's like the luxury side is the strip where there's like, it's not even high-end gambling, but it's casinos, and they're super nice casinos, but the stakes aren't super high. So you can play that. There's big, there's sports betting, Caesar's Palace. There's like enormous screens, and you just take a seat in there, and the air conditions like real nice in there. Yeah, it's
Don't
a
they do something with like the air to make you like want to gamble more or some shit?
They-
Something to do with like extra oxygen or something? Or is that maybe I'm thinking of somewhere else? I've heard they like infuse the rooms with like pure oxygen or something. Like instead of normal shitty air,
Yeah.
it's like artificially like pure air.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Some of the nicest hotels on the face of the earth are in Vegas. And every time I go to Vegas, at least one or even two of the nights, I just walk around all the hotels, usually with my girl, just like walking around. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible, and it's clean. But there's definitely the trashy Vegas part with the strip clubs and stuff like that. I've never been into strip clubs. Do we have this discussion?
No.
Strip clubs?
Yeah, I've never been into it either.
Oh, I mean, I've been into them for sure, but I've never been into it.
Yeah, exactly. I've never been
Right.
I've been physically been inside them
Physically,
before,
you've been
but
there,
I
right.
like am not like interested in going to them that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, like at all. Like even the first time I went was because I'd never been to one. But even after going there, it's like even if you don't have a girlfriend, it's like I'm going here to get blue balls.
Yeah.
You know? And
I'm
then
a
even
loser.
if you have yeah, it's like and you're a loser if you're there almost.
Yeah.
Because there's no outcome of it. Like why are you there?
The outcome is you lose.
To spend money to get blue balls? Like, is that sick? Like, no, it's not.
You can watch,
Porn.
Yeah.
If that's like what you want to do, is like stare at naked chicks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at least you can get yourself off, watching porn.
Yeah.
So I never knew the deal. I had a friend, and this guy he's like, I'm not in the strip club thing either. I'm just like, so why you been going to the strip club? He goes, it's awesome. So I'll whisper in the girl's ear, like, what the fuck happened in your life? Why are you doing this? And like, he would say some nasty shit to girls. Like, that was so over the top. They'd just be like, you're a whore. Is your family proud of you?
No way.
Yeah. Like, just stuff like that. And I think he even got kicked out of a few of them.
Well, I would imagine.
And I was like, I was like, why are you doing that? He says, they're trash. You know that. I was like, yeah, but I'm not going to go there and just like.
That sounds like a you-know-who thing to do.
Oh.
That sounds like something he'd go do.
I don't think he'd have the balls to, like, I don't know.
You think?
It could, I don't know.
Maybe too socially awkward.
Like, yeah. Especially if the girl was.
About maybe.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I had a friend that did that, and I was just like, there was something so wrong about that. That's just like,
yeah.
I'm not a karma believer at all, and I'm still not. But that's just fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he got off, probably figuratively, to just putting down these strippers and saying, I bet you have 2 kids that you can't feed. And what are they going to think? Yeah, just where does that come from?
Obviously, he has a fucked up life. Then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he never struck me as that. And we were pretty close friends. I'm just like,
that's like even like
red flag.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Even like it's like a totally toned down version, but like anonymous comments on YouTube. When somebody just randomly is like, fuck you, bitch, like you fucking suck. It's like, well, your life sucks.
Yeah.
Like why would you like literally just watched the video and went out of your way to go to the comment section, click enter, you type in, you fucking piece of shit, good looking loser, like,
and probably thought about it with like real specifics.
Probably edited it, probably like put a lot of he's gonna see this and like
dude gets in his car, goes and finds parking in DC where it's very hard to park, goes into a strip club, probably pays a fucking cover, sits down, they make him order a drink or something like that so he can whisper in girls' ears. And it's just like
the fact that he told you that, like you thought it would be like funny or like cool too.
I gotta think back to that. And there was no context. It was just like, I'm just like, yeah, I'm not in strip clubs. And he's like, yeah, I'm not either. I'm gonna go. I'm like, oh, well, why? He's like, all right, get this. It's like, what the fuck?
Let's make sure that's centered still. I think we're good.
You wanna
Nah, I leave this one on the whole time.
Okay.
This one went for 3 fucking hours yesterday and was fine.
Okay. You
Which
wanna check up on that one there?
Yeah. I think this one's fine too. I charged the phone before I.
Let me run to the bathroom real quick.
Sure. Do you ever watch any of your old videos and like look back on how you like spoke and think like?
Yeah, it makes me want to like get back to it. Not necessarily like talk about dating and stuff, but just
interacting again.
Yeah, I'll put a video on YouTube and not necessarily watch it, but listen to myself, and I'm just like, I hear how like I spoke about things with such enthusiasm and just such certainty and everything like that. I was like, wow, this is fucking good.
Yeah.
I'm sure you do the same. You watch videos of you like explaining a concept, and you're just like, there's nothing like this anywhere on YouTube, you know? Yeah.
I've watched. It's kind of funny because I think I got more confident sounding on YouTube. Like my first videos in like 2016 or whatever, I sounded like awkward as fuck. But it's been like an inverse relationship of like the more like hermit I become.
Yeah.
I get better at YouTube videos, but like real life, it goes like the opposite.
Yeah,
because
I'm
I'm
an
like,
outcast in real life.
Yeah, because I'm like just doing the YouTube shit. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I've heard some YouTubers do the same where like on camera, they're like in their character sort of, but then like they actually suck ass in like real life.
Oh, really?
Like I don't suck. I
right.
don't. Yeah, but like, it's like I don't know. I just remember the way I was when I was like had like absolutely fucking zero approach anxiety because I was like doing it full time and I was like the most fucking personable, like fluent speaking, well spoken individual. Put me in like even a job interview. I was like so confident I could win over like anyone.
Right.
Like it felt like you had like an elite like social skill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't feel that way anymore.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Scotty was like that too. He was like, I'm like, all right, well.
Like I feel like I could get there again, but it was like so much fucking work was put into getting there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, it's almost the way you feel about like, I don't know, like put me on a computer and like I know how to make money. It would be like put me in a fucking room with people and I'll like win them over kind of thing.
Exactly. And Scotty was like that. So we left New York after I did the videos, and I was like, I taught him how to set up a webcam and a microphone. I was like, yeah, just just try your best with these videos. And he was like trying to do a 30-second video, and he was spent 6 hours on it and still couldn't get. He goes, dude, this stuff like. He goes, what do you? He goes, this is weird shit. I says, no, I'm like, what you do in real life is the hard stuff.
Yeah.
Just talk, dude. Just say what's on your mind.
Yeah.
Just say anything. I'm like, it'll be great. He's like, dude, I can't do this shit. Like what? Talking into your phone?
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know how you do it. I'm like, I don't know how you do what you do so fast.
Yeah.
It was just, but practice like anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like my first YouTube video you listen to and it's just like this person has never spoken English, but like I don't know, like back then I was like way better at like social interaction actually.
Yeah.
But I sound like a fucking idiot. But
It's muscle memory. Well, you got to gain that muscle memory from,
yeah,
got to earn that muscle memory.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think people would be surprised how easily you can actually get that. Like I think I got there like within like 4 months of just like going fucking insane out every day.
Yeah.
But I literally went out like every fucking day.
Yeah. Just go hard at whatever you're trying to do,
Yeah.
regardless of the outcome. You're going to learn something along the way that, it might not turn out how you want, but it's cliche. Like, oh, it's not a failure if you learn something, but, it's kind of true. It's a failure if you learn something, then like, don't do anything with that knowledge, it's just, it's just, just keep telling guys in their early 20s, stop putting so much pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
And then like you watch YouTube, or you see like Derek or me when I was younger, and they're just like, well, they're a little older than me, but look what they have, and it's so far away from me. And
A lot of people comment, they'll be like, how old are you? On my things. I'm like, I know you're not asking because you're actually interested. You're doing it because you want to know if you're younger
They're comparing.
than me.
They're comparing,
to compare my physique or my whatever to
Right.
whatever you're currently at. Because you feel like, oh, if this guy's older than me, then like I don't feel bad about myself if I'm not like, wherever I am comparing my thing to.
I was telling Derek, at his age right now, he was making more money than I was at that age. Certainly online, but in general. So actually, when I compare myself to Derek, I should feel bad, but we're not competing here. In fact, we're collaborating, but nonetheless, you gotta stop the comparison games. If that in just like in 1 year, you can go, it's usually not the first year, but it could be the second or third, that sophomore season, but more that junior season, that third year, when, your rookie, you get your feet wet, hopefully you end the season good. Sophomore, you put together and make sense of the mistakes you made in your rookie. That third year in sports is like often a breakout year. College athletics too, and pros. That third year is where you start to come into your own, and see like a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, that makes. I would say it's very rare for anyone to like come out swinging in the first year and do everything like perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's just the way this game online is played. Whether you're trying to earn money or you're trying to earn subscribers or influence or whatever the hell you're trying to compoundly build online. It's just like it's gonna go. It's always 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Yeah. But 1 becomes 2, becomes 4, becomes 8, becomes 16. It just like that's how it really, really does grow. Income and influence and everything like that.
What would you have advice for somebody who lives in a very, I already kind of know the answer, but I feel like this is something people would want to hear from you. Somebody who lives in a town that has a very low population and there's like not a whole lot of people there and like wants to get girls.
Okay. Well, the obvious thing is then to move.
Mm-hmm. But you're young and you can't afford it. Then at that point, do you prioritize the get paid part over the get laid?
No.
No?
Well, no. I mean, well,
Like, you need some...
get paid because you have ambitions of like living somewhere else for as cheap as you can possibly do.
Yeah.
But take a road trip. You know, even if you're out in the middle of Nebraska, it's like Chicago's not that far. You know, go to some place. See, there's a different mentality, and I see it here in Idaho, much different than where I grew up in Washington D.C. and hell of a lot different than I saw in Los Angeles. People, they're like. That's the cool thing about LA. I mean, the traffic is definitely a drag and stuff like that. But I'll meet some average person. I can have conversations in LA pretty easily, far better than I can now because it's kind of you meet someone, and even if they're not like in the Hollywood or actually in the scene, they're doing something. They're just like, oh, you know, I'm just artist, and I got this show, and like that's cool. That's different. You know,
Yeah.
we have nothing in common other than we're doing our thing.
Yeah.
So you could talk about that, and it's just that's a cool part about LA. But if you're trying to get girls and you're in a city that doesn't have some action, you got to get to some city with an action. And it's like, and you don't need 10 grand or something to get out of there. You know, endure. Like that's especially if you're like real young and you can't move. So you're talking about like teenager, right?
Yeah, let's just say like 18, 19, 20, even 21.
Gather the knowledge, man. At the same time, it's just like there are girls.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's rough though. Like if I wasn't in a small town, but I could see, oh, you know, your high school class is like 20 people and everyone knows each other. And you know, there's no such thing as like cold approach or whatever because you know, everyone knows each other's mom. So
Yeah.
well, what did you think I was going to say? Like, yeah, move.
Yeah.
Get
No,
to
that's
it.
what exactly.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. I just wasn't. People want to hear it from you. Like a lot of this stuff is like, I know the answers, but it's like, you know, it's worth saying so people can hear you state your opinion.
Yeah, and you don't need to like I said, you don't need to transition from okay, I'm living in Gary, Indiana, which is actually real gangster, but to living in you know Los Angeles. Take a road trip somewhere. Do something. You know, get the fuck out of your town and get away from that small town mentality.
Yeah.
Like I love the values of small town people. Door, you know, leave the car unlocked, leave the door. That's great and all, but they don't have dreams. It's just not exciting.
Where would you move if, let's just say, like top 3 states in the U.S. for girls?
Oh, Los Angeles, California. Los Angeles, California. Los Angeles, California. Yeah.
There's no like second or third even worth mentioning?
Depends on what kind of scene you like.
Because isn't L.A., California like absurdly fucking expensive? Like, granted, I'm sure you like should probably make it work if that's like the goal is to, I don't know, be in that like densely populated area with all hot girls. But I mean, there's got to be like close-ish second and third.
There's a section of LA, and if you know anything about LA, you would know where I'm talking about, where you can have access to the Hollywood scene but not pay those prices. It's called the Valley. So it's kind of North Hollywood and that area where, you know, you can pay. Still going to be a bit. Like you could have a house with some guys and probably pay, I don't know, $700 a month or something like that. It's doable, I think. And, you know, as long as you get a car or I guess, you know, worst comes worst, you got a bus or something, you can get it. So that's where all the starving actors live, is in North Hollywood. So they got big dreams, aspirations, don't got a lot of loot, but they need to get, you know, be able to get down to Hollywood to go on auditions. And though a lot of auditions is up in North Hollywood, but they move there and they have access to Hollywood. Granted, you know, it could take 30, 45 minutes by car or something like that. That's what you can do. I think most cities have something like that. They get the prime area, where I guess in Hollywood it would be Hollywood, but West Hollywood is a bit more these days, and those are the wealthy areas. And then you come in from the Valley.
Would you still recommend LA though, given the current state of young social climate in terms of people valuing their worth on social media follower counts and shit? So it's like if you're a guy trying to get like hot chicks now, a lot of it isn't as much, oh, you're good looking and you're like, obviously I'm sure that's a huge factor for most of them where they don't give a fuck, but a lot of the people are there for a reason to make a living in show business or fucking social media or whatever.
Those are the girls that I slept with, man. Like, honestly, they were all my age too, but it was kind of like there's something. LA is a special place. Like, everyone is really friendly. People are stuck up, but they're really friendly. Like, on the East Coast, they're stuck up and they're unfriendly. But there's girls like, they came from a small town in Kansas and they're trying to be an actress and they're homesick. And they want the security of having a guy, even if he's just the fuck buddy. But you can be that guy who's a few years older than the girl, and she feels like real secure. God, how many girls in LA be like, you remind me of like my brother, you remind me of my dad. And I knew when they said that, even as early as when I first started talking to them, that I was like, all right, this girl feels like safe with me. I just know, I heard it so many times. Because there's two kind of girls that are the Hollywood girls that are actually there, or say they're there to like, be actresses or singers or dancers and stuff like that. There's 90% that are there just to fucking party and do coke and pretend they're actresses, and there's like 10% that are actually going on like 3-4 auditions a week.
Right.
The others are just like they've moved out to LA to party and they have this dream of like being some actress, but they're not doing a goddamn thing about it.
Yeah.
Those are the girls that I was around pretty much. Serious girls, like you don't see them. They're audition after audition. They're usually working as sort of something in between makeup artist or hairstylist or something like that. But a lot of girls move from small towns to.
The thing was hanging on by a thread. I was going to say something, but I didn't want to interrupt you.
A lot of girls move to LA. They think they want to be actresses, but they just want to do coke.
Ah.
Yeah. And generally, some of them end up being serious, but they have their like LA party phase where they just like get into the scene, and it's like they want to be an actress because they want to be a star and they want to be famous and stuff like that. But they actually get a ton of attention just from guys.
Yeah.
And like, well, I may not ever be a A-list actress or B-list actress, but all these guys fucking they're staring at my tits like it's great, that's a replacement. It's not so bad. So
you don't think the climate of like getting chicks is gonna be different though when like they're determining who they're gonna sleep with based on, because it's almost less like back in the day it would be like you'd sleep with like a fucking director or whatever to get like a job. Nowadays, it's like you sleep with a social media influencer with 5 million YouTube subscribers to get in their videos to like raise your clout. Like, you don't think that?
Both still exist, yeah.
Right.
Both still exist.
You still think it's worth it for a guy who's like a normal person working like a normal job to?
If you look the part in LA, and that's important. You gotta look the part. Get your ass in the gym. Whatever it is, you wanna look the part. You play the part,
right?
Because a lot of girls, they saw me, they thought I was an MMA or UFC fighter or something. I wore the affliction things, 18-inch arms and stuff. I look more like a bodybuilder, to be honest. But
you were a celebrity grocery shopper.
Yeah, right. Well, that's an example. But chicks would look at me and be like, "Oh, this guy must be like play for the Lakers or something like that." I play for the Lakers.
Yeah.
But okay, I'll take it.
It was funny. What's been just a kind of like tangent here.
Mm-hmm.
When I worked as a bouncer, I'm gonna cut that part out. When I worked as a bouncer downtown, this bar I worked at, it was like a private champagne lounge, and they had a club too. So they had like 2 locations downtown. I would work at the club sometimes, and I'd work at the champagne lounge sometimes.
Right.
And when I worked at the champagne lounge, it was like a private small area that's like really upscale, and all the NHL teams, when they'd come to play our team, they'd go party at the champagne lounge.
Right.
So like we'd have all these situations where it would be like closed off for the night only to the NHL players, and then we'd only let in chicks pretty much. And it'd be like, as much of like a dick as we had to be, our job was to only let in the hot girls.
Yeah.
And the only dudes who would ever be in are the NHL players and these hot chicks.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times I would get like accidentally lumped into the NHL team category.
Yeah.
Like they just assume because the girls are there, they think, well, there's, a bartender is behind the bar and then everyone who's not behind the bar, who's a guy, is on the NHL team.
Right.
So then the way girls would treat me on
Yeah.
those nights was so fucking interesting because they
Yeah.
legit thought I was like,
Right.
yeah, and it was just like going off on you saying, "Are you like a LA Lakers?"
No,
fan?"
perception's reality. But you talked about the current climate, or what word did you use about guys and the girls or something? You know as well as I do. You said it before. The current climate is guys are pussies.
Oh right,
Yeah. So I think that kind of takes precedent over.
true.
Yeah, I think so. LA is definitely my favorite because I also love the weather there. And for a time I liked the Hollywood scene. It's superficial, it's stuck up, it's very competitive. But if you can get into some of those clubbing circles, like be real close with a promoter, it's just like you get laid. I don't know. My definition of being able to get laid is like you go out 3 times a week, you can pull one, or on average, you might have a stretch 9 straight, nothing. But you get to those after parties where the girls are drunk and the rooms are open. It's like we're batting like 50%, like 1 out of 2. So that was always more efficient. Learning how to pick up girls, approach girls, a great fundamental. But it's kind of like certainly not the minor leagues because it's the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
But it's certainly not the most like effective.
That was one of the things that annoyed me the most when I was doing the pickup stuff. Is
Yeah.
I felt like I was missing out on the party scene because I wasn't a life of the party kind of guy. None
Right.
of my friends were life of the party kind of guys and didn't have like extensive party social circles either. So it was basically like, me going out with like a couple of my friends at most once every like month
Right.
downtown. Well, actually, that's not true. When I was doing it really hard, I'd make fucking somebody go like once a week. But it was like, it wasn't like the way you described.
Yeah.
Which like in my head at the time, like I don't care now, but at the time, I always felt like I was missing out on like, you have this group of people, you pre-drink, you go downtown,
Right.
you have like this awesome night, and then you go back to the house and everyone has like, their thing like pre-set up almost.
Yep.
Which is like the easiest, way to do it.
Right.
But I don't know. What do you suggest for like? Didn't you have some way of like generating? I've talked about how to create social circles, which is like
Fantastic video.
Yeah.
By the way, guys should go watch that. What's the title of the video?
it's like how to build social circles in college, even if you don't know anyone or
Yeah.
something like that. Very long title, but it was kind of necessary.
And that is new content that you added to the discussion of like making
like that was my
making
version
friends,
of
yeah.
trying to do like what you already had set up for yourself. It seemed like.
Okay.
But like I always sort of was like, it'd be sick to like go to those after parties and do this and that.
Yeah.
I
got in with one guy.
Oh really?
I got in with one guy, and I met this guy at the gym. Now he wasn't a bodybuilder; he was a promoter. He wasn't in like the greatest health and stuff like that. But we just started talking. I'd be at the gym at odd hours, and since he was a promoter, he would get to the gym kind of like weird hours too,
Yeah.
like late night and stuff like that. And we got to talking or something, and he started asking about, what supplements can I take?
Yeah.
Supplements. And I said, well, you would do it this way and stuff. And, we got closer over a period of few weeks, like seeing each other in the gym all the time. I asked him what he does, and he was like, he was an upper mid-level promoter, so he's pretty connected, but he'd been doing this for like 6-7 years or something like that. And what he needed was someone to, get him into shape, or give him the supplements that will get him into shape, especially for the pool parties coming up in the summertime. And I was that guy.
Yeah.
And he had what I wanted, He
Right.
would just be like, you show up anywhere, any night, I'll introduce you to people and stuff like that. And I did him one better. I would show up at his events, but I would like bring girls along with me. Some of them, I was interested in. Some were their friends and stuff like that. So I actually was like coming into his events with like 2 girls and stuff like that. And he thought the world of me there. Plus, I also know how to like approach girls, but not in like a friendship type of way. So go into a club. All right. So the action starts really popping at like 11, but I'm able to go in there at 7:30 or something, free food, free everything. And he introduced me to all his friends. And, his circle actually it was some Orange County kids. They got jealous because I got in this circle, and he was just speaking the world to me. He's like, I feel so much better since I've met this kid. You know, I've even been getting my blood work. He was just all about some guy who like just got into fitness and figured out, and he was just getting like the results, and he like just thanked me for all of it. So he thought he had to like repay me, even though it was really like kind of me that I felt I had to repay him. So it was a good thing, but I could come to his events and his circles and his after parties and everything like that, and I wouldn't have to do pickup at him because I knew he wasn't always the most like popular guy, but he was up there. And he would introduce me to just like, he was someone who had a Facebook list of, I don't know how many max friends you can have, but it was maxed, and he knew everyone. And he was the guy who had like, you know, where's the party at? That's the guy who has the answer, and it's his party. So it was a bit lucky, but I don't know. These things happen. I'm sure you get asked in the gym for like advice from guys that are, you know, trying to come up too. And I ended up living with this guy for, I think it was like 6.5 months.
Wow. Jeez.
Yeah. He invited me to live with him. He was like, I want to live in like trainer and stuff like that, you know, who knows all the supplements and everything like that. And it was, half of what I did in LA was not pickup. More than half of what I did in LA wasn't pickup. It was partying. So most of the Good Looking Loser and everyone else's content out there, they teach pickup. It's very important. But what I was doing was partying. It wasn't really, but I was partying with like some pickup intel, you know, some skills. So it worked out really good. Because even these rich kids that are out in the party and cocaine everywhere and stuff like that, like their skills are like not that much better. They stick to their circles. But someone like me, I was a real disruptor to it. And we took a private plane and flew to Vegas once, and he was talking to me the whole time. His friends fucking hated me. I thought they were gonna like try to kill me in my sleep or something like that, because he was the most connected guy. Yeah. And I somehow like got into their circle, and this guy just kept praising me, and he just like he was like, I'm making this protein shake, right? It was just like the stuff, the knowledge I was giving him, and motivation too, was crazy, and he was giving me everything in return, just everything. Somehow this guy had access to all these party drugs, but he didn't have access to certain supplements. Which is
something I always find interesting.
Yeah,
it's like, how do you not have access to this?
But it's essentially because when I was doing supplements, I didn't know where to get weed. Yeah, I bet I could ask like one of my friends because it's common, but I actually didn't have like a weed dealer, and they would say to me like, "Where are you getting these supplements or something? Like, where they buy that needle?"
You know how to get like fucking like IGF-1, but you don't know how to get like a joint.
Right. Yeah. It's just, but that's just your networks, you know?
Yeah.
That's funny. And, well, what's more uncommon in LA, especially in the party scene at that? Well, it would be, you know, sports supplements and not the other stuff. Sure. So, and then there was Silk Road too. So, you know, but I lived with a guy for like 6 months. I honestly thought I was going to die. Like, I thought I ruined my brain.
How'd that end? Like, all of it?
I had to move out. Well, actually, he was leaving the house. So it's this big mansion thing, and they just rent it. That's what a lot of guys do in LA. They get these mansions. They just rent them. Yeah. Now, yeah, sure, it's going to be $14,000 a month. Or actually, skip back to 2008, something like that. It wasn't $14,000 a month, probably like $10,000 or $11,000 a month. That's a hell of a lot. Yeah. But when you have like 10 rooms in the house and like 7 of them are full, so you got 7 guys paying for $10,000 rent. That's doable, you know. And the house is big enough to where you guys don't like kill each other. So yeah, I lived with this guy, and it was just like, I'm telling you, it was what college I thought was gonna be. Right. Without like the work. It was just I was literally going to die if I stayed there. The amount of drugs that were just available were just I kind of got out of shape in that period of time, but I wasn't eating anything either because the stuff around that I was doing kills your appetite.
Right.
So I have like abs, and it was like I would wake up on a Tuesday morning and there would be a pool party going on. I would walk into the kitchen, and I wasn't always, it sounds great, but I wasn't always in a good mood, and there'd be like people I didn't know in the kitchen, and I'm like, motherfucker, the guy's like making like a daiquiri in my goddamn blender when I need to make this protein shake. So it wasn't always moody. I would get moody, and then sometime later I would take kratom or something else, and I'd come back out like, this ain't such a bad life. But it was like Tuesday morning, there was a pool party, and then maybe some like delivery food shows up later, and then people are going out for the night, and I was participating, I would say probably 3 days a week in pool party, in pre-party, in club, and after party.
And they were doing it 7 days a week?
He was doing it 6, but to his credit, he wasn't always on all these drugs, and he took the summer off drinking. Like he he was going like, I don't know if he was sober, but none of my goddamn business. But he made a lifestyle change to get away from that because of me, and he felt real better. And I felt better because I know all these drugs that I haven't tried. Fantastic. Yeah. So it's like we kind of went opposite directions. But I remember waking up, and I would probably be in some sort of withdrawal thing from something.
Yeah.
I go in the kitchen, and there'd be people in there. And I would just be like, the walk was a nightmare. So I used to keep some stuff in the room. So I'm just like, I'll do this, then I'll come downstairs. But 6.5 months, what did I list there? Morning pool party. And then they had these like brunches at the house, and if people didn't go in the pool and stuff like that. But it was straight spring break and stereotypical spring break for 6 months. More, really. And then that's the time I lived there. When I didn't live there, there was like probably
So one day were you just like, I'm out, and then you just left?
No, see, he was leaving the house. Like he was moving somewhere else. Yeah. And I used that chance to like split from him. But because like I actually thought I'd like ruin my brain. I was like really, and like not even funny, to where one of my friends who knew me from way back was like, what's going on with you? Like I would go out, and I would just like, I'd walk to or he'd pick me up to like go to the grocery store, and I'd go to the grocery store. I don't have my wallet, I don't have my phone, I don't have my keys, I don't have a grocery list. And like this happened like multiple times. And he's like, what the hell is going on with you? And I'm just like, I'm not telling him, really. Yeah. Or I mean, I'm just like, well, I've been partying a lot, but not to the degree of like what we were doing. And I just like, I'm like, I gotta do something about, like, I can't. This is crazy. Yeah. Like, I leave my phone, my wallet, this happens like several times.
So when the guy moved out, why did he move out?
Oh, the lease was just up, and I don't think he could find enough guys that that could pay the 12. And
so like, how'd you guys part ways though? He just like, he didn't ask you to come with him to wherever he was going?
I was gonna move to Santa Monica. I had my sight set on, let's go to the beach, and like, let's stop what we're doing here. Yeah. And he'll still be my boy. And pretty much we were. I think he actually got out of the scene, but it was interesting. Our lifestyles went the opposite way. I went from just like, I'm taking supplements, and I got into like party drugs, and he went into, he dropped the alcohol and all that kind of stuff. And he was really serious about it. I'm like, well, you really shouldn't take, like, I ain't gonna tell you what to do, but if you're gonna take those, orals, like, you really shouldn't be drinking, dude. And he goes, not gonna touch it then. And I was like, we'll see. This guy probably, no, he didn't. So he was like real serious, and our lives literally went to the opposite ends. I became just a fucked up partier, and he became, other than some supplements, he was living a healthy lifestyle.
So he went to Santa Monica with you?
No. He ended up living somewhere else in the hills, where we were anyway, and I went to the beach, and I got a place by myself. Yeah.
And then you kept in contact and kept helping him?
A bit, but Santa Monica's kind of far from Hollywood, so
You just like naturally drifted apart, sort of?
I a little bit more consciously tried to separate myself, but I knew the guy would always be there.
Right.
All I know is like, and I don't know if this makes me like an addict, because I feel like maybe it does. I definitely have addict tendencies, but like if there was like drugs and they were like free, like I could not turn them down. I could not. I feel like I could now, but where I was in my life, it was just like, and Scotty ran into the same thing, and that's why he's committed to being sober. When we first, I don't know his timeline exactly, but when we got together, I think at one point when you get into pickup, the idea is like to get girls, right?
Yeah.
That's the girl, that's the thing. And sometime along the way, it becomes, let's get fucked up. Like we had the thing of like, let's get chicks, but now it's like, let's do drugs. Okay. And it might end up in getting chicks. Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's like the best way to pick up girls in LA is to have them do cocaine with you. That's like, it's not like you want to get a, you know what, you want to fast track something. You're just like, hey, do you party or something like that? And it was just, I gave that like one line to the friend of the promoter who actually liked me. He's like, this is amazing. It's like we should have thought of this. We could have known this for years. Just like ask girls if they like to party, and they're just like, yeah. Be like, all right, party's over here. Like, yeah, like in a club. Well, because they knew the bouncers and stuff, so they could get away with different stuff. You just go up to girls like, hey, you know, you're a new face in here. It's different when club scene fucking blows when you don't know anybody, but when you know people, and like girls are very observant, so they can see guys like maybe they've been there a couple times, but they see the guys who are just like, I don't know, like my awareness isn't even like that good, but the guys that are just like who are the alphas or something, or who are in the scene because they're dressed for it. They walk around, they talk to people. And they talk to people like they know each other. Like, if I saw you in a, like, if we're friends, we run into each other in a club, like, I come over and I talk to you, it wouldn't be like I was meeting you for the first time or something like that. So, yeah, being one of the regulars and then knowing just people in the club, it would, like, these guys I helped them out a lot. My little line, just like, just go ask girls to party. And like, well, then what? Grab them by the hand and walk them over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just show them a few times, but that was crazy. That six and a half months, that was crazy.
Yeah.
I don't have that much. I allude to it a little bit on GLL, but it wasn't traditional pickup.
Yeah.
It was, I wake up and there's like topless girls potentially. Not always. Wasn't a whole shit show, but there's girls that are like, you know, DTF like in my kitchen when I wake up. Not necessarily for me, but just like there's just sex is in the fucking air. It was like softcore porn like the whole time for like 6 months. And the promoter guy, he got sick of it, so he would go up to like the attic and he just wouldn't want to be around anyone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, isn't he the one organizing the shit?
Well, he's the connection that just like, yeah, party's here or something. But it was a lot of his friends like supported his efforts. The whole group was sort of like promoters, but he was the top one, I'd say. Not the whole group, but several in there were that. So there's like upper level and there's like mid level. Some of the other guys were like mid level, and they had this house, and it was just like maid service came 2 times a week, clean the shit up. It was like,
wow.
I was living there free. Too. Yeah, because he wanted me in the house. But I was gonna like kill myself. And that's one of the things I told him. I'm like, hey, like, I'm feeling probably like you did before we met. Like, I'm going to kill myself here. And he says, you are going to just get back to the gym. And then I went back to the fundamentals. I moved to the beach, got back to the gym, and enjoyed it. It took my mind a while to recover. Like, it really just doing. I'm trying to give other examples of how off I was to where it's like not funny.
Yeah.
Like in the weight room, I'm just like, if you have any experience in the weight room, you know, you don't put like 3 45-pound plates on one side where the other bar has nothing.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Just smashes on yourself.
Yeah. I got out of the way, but like that was something I'm just like, it was scary. It was not funny because I thought I like broke something permanently.
Yeah.
Going home for so I stayed there most of the summer, and the next time I went home was at Thanksgiving or Christmas. Like fuck, I don't even remember. I think it was Christmas because I didn't go home for Thanksgiving most of the years. I get to the airport, I check in, I give I'm checking a bag, so here's my suitcase, and then I give them my suitcase, and they're like, okay, can I see some ID? And I'm like, yeah. Where's my wallet?
No, man.
And then it's like, it turns out to be in my suitcase from the pants I was wearing the night before. It's just like, I'm like, that was telling because I was like, because usually, I mean, like, you know, you fly out tomorrow, you're going to make sure you have your shit together. I'm just like, so, I mean, I guess we laugh about it now, but like,
at the time it's probably fucking terrifying.
I thought I broke myself. Like,
yeah.
I did. And then I was a little mad at myself, but I also got mad at the kid that gave me access. I was just tripping. It wasn't his fault, you know?
Yeah.
So it was like, yeah, Good Looking Loser is about pickup and getting girls, but there's like this whole other element. There's like pickup and there's partying, and it's just like, I obviously prefer the partying. It's just you feel, but with Scotty and I, and his was mainly pickup, but for some time, and we both had a consensus on this. Is at some point, like it didn't become about getting girls; it became about getting fucked up. Like that's what it was. Now we wouldn't be in a great mood if we get fucked up, and then there was like nothing necessary. I wouldn't be in a great mood. Like, oh, there's like no girls out here, or every fucking girl told us to fuck off. Like that wasn't good. But we were in such a good mood while we were fucked up. It was just energy was contagious.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, even when you're drunk for like a shitty night is like a good night, you know? Like
unless you're the type that like, because I was like this when I was like big into fitness, but I can't believe I fucking drank tonight. What a waste of a night. You know?
You like lost gains and you didn't get laid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, eating this pizza here, you know? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember it was like I heard that if you drink alcohol until your body's digested it, anything you eat, it goes straight to fat storage. So I'd like religiously avoid eating after drinking.
Wait, repeat that actually?
When you drink alcohol,
okay.
Your body's digestive system like prioritizes digesting the alcohol and detoxifying before it goes to the other food sitting there. So if you eat like anything else after the alcohol, it's like all goes to fat storage supposedly.
Yeah. See, this is where Derek adds new stuff. Now that might be a known
I don't
thing.
even know if that's a factual like thing though. That was just like the thing I followed when I was.
Well, you say it with confidence, so then it must be true. But again, like something like this is what Derek can add to a conversation. Whereas, you know, he could have easily just told me, "Oh, did you hear that drinking alcohol lowers your test?"
Sure.
And like, that's why you don't get a boner. It's like, no, there's the upper level, and the only way you really discover what's below the surface is to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, because your experience, you could do the exact same thing as me. Go to LA, do pickup work on approach anxiety for 6 months to a year, then bust your ass to pickup, then get into clubbing, then go to the beach, and do that scene. It'll be completely different, and your insights will be the same thing, but you'll express them completely differently because it's a different experience. Like,
yeah,
I said that from day one, and that's what I mean. Like, you don't get the insider insights, the deep knowledge that if you can put it into words, can offer great guidance to those who are like still at the surface. You know, they know where to fucking drill now, but they gotta drill to see what the fuck is really there. I guess that's sort of the analogy with like experience, and you know.
Do you have any experiences with like psycho chicks during that time frame?
Girls in LA were largely psycho, yeah, but psycho mainly because they're just drug addicts, I'd say.
So like what was like the nuttiest situation?
let's see. Well, I do have a few. Like, to be fair, and looking at myself, like, I wasn't, like, especially earlier on, like, I was psycho too. So that makes for some, like, interesting,
How much longer do you think you can go? Because I might pop a rush. I'm about to fall asleep here.
probably not that much longer. We probably shouldn't go that much longer. The psycho thing, I got to think about that actually. And I'd have to get the story together.
Okay.
There's some that are like equal. This Israeli hairstylist and actually the other girl wasn't so bad. I have to think about that. The most psycho is not like a one night stand girl. It's like a girl I get in a relationship with, and then she's like waiting for me when I get home. But
Like, what do you mean? Like, she's in your house uninvited? Like, what do you mean?
like she scratches her own car and writes the word whore on it and like blames it on me and files a police report. I didn't do that. Like that shit.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
That's a pretty fucked up story.
Yeah.
Expound. That's a word. Expound, right? I'm like falling asleep. I'm trying to
I was
elaborate.
used to go Israeli hairstylist. I actually have more that's like beyond this, but this is a shorter story, so it's a good example. Dated her, and by dated her I meant basically
Fuck buddy.
she'd come over, we'd drink some, we would go to a club, she would dance and get all hot, then we'd come back and have sex. It was the same thing every fucking time. And this was early in pickup, so I was sort of complaining to the guy I would get advice from. I'd be like, yo, so I have a good time with this girl, although it's always the same experience. Like, she always wants to just come over and have a few drinks, maybe smoke weed, go to the club and dance, and come home and fuck. I'm just like, I'm sick and tired of her bossing me around. He's like, dude, like, what are you talking about? I'm just like, I'm sick of doing things on her terms. This whole, like, build a future or you're building a life or something. I want things on my terms.
Yeah.
He's like, her terms are fucking great.
Yeah.
What are you doing? And I was like, oh, you're right. It's not about getting my way. It's about,
Yeah.
well, at the early stage, it's about getting laid.
Yeah.
And so I guess that eventually got old. And for some reason, she saw me as like, oh, this guy is more than a fuck buddy. He's a boyfriend. And then she started thinking that I was like going out with other girls. And in fact, I was.
Yeah.
I don't even believe that I was the only guy going out with her. So I probably wasn't the only guy fucking her. But nonetheless, she said I was. And she twice, because Hollywood actually is, LA is big, but Hollywood's small. And if you go out in different states, you go to the same fucking diner, you could see the girl you fucked the night before there. It's really like a tight scene. And there's certain nights that that happen. And so
you'd think it's so densely populated that wouldn't be the case.
LA is, but Hollywood isn't. Yeah. I mean, that's the best description of it. LA or Hollywood is this like small little scene in Los Angeles. That's there's a lot to Los Angeles. So anyway, she got the idea that I'd been seeing other girls, which I had, but lied. No, I haven't. Because she liked me a lot. I wasn't gonna be like, oh well, you're free to believe that if you want. Like, the idea was like, no, I'm not. Like, that was my cousin or something. I always used to say that. You'd call with a girl and be like, yo, what are you tripping? That's my cousin. I'm not sleeping with her.
Yeah.
I learned that from some guy who's really good with chicks. And sure enough, she stopped like believing it. And I remember I got home from the gym one day, and there was a cop waiting for me.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and he was like, do you know blah blah blah? I said, yeah. And she had filed a police report saying I'd scratched this into her car. He's got these photos of it and stuff like that. God. And you know how I know I didn't do it? Because she blamed this other guy for it. Like, sort of when we met, okay? When she started going out with me, supposedly this like Armenian guy or something, like, had written whore on her car, like scratched it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, if I remember the story correctly, like that's who did it. I was like, I couldn't believe that. was like, you stupid bitch. I knew she was. So yeah, she filed a police report saying I vandalized her car and wrote whore on it. So.
Wait, so the guy, her first whatever.
I think so. That's what she said to me.
That was when you first met her, you said, though?
I picked her up and she like didn't want to show me like on her car or something, or I had something, I don't know what it was.
So the entire time you were seeing her, she had this already engraved in her car?
I believe so.
So she used to drive around with the word whore engraved in her car for like months?
She wasn't. I mean, she was like a hairstylist, so I don't know.
Dude,
get the thing detailed.
That seems insane.
Well, it wasn't that like, okay, so it wasn't like,
okay.
big. Yeah, it was like if you took a screwdriver and quickly wrote, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
then,
I was like imagining like the whole fucking door is like.
Oh, that's hilarious.
No.
No, it's scratched like with something, like
gotcha.
something or other. And then she blamed me for it. And I was like, I didn't do that. That other Middle Eastern guy, I was like, fuck, maybe she just did that. Maybe she does this to people, you know? Yeah. I just stopped answering her text and thankfully it like went away. But
what was the other story that you were like thinking about?
I got to put the details together on some of these. It is a good topic, but I have to read my blog.
Really?
Sort of.
I don't think I've seen that though in there.
I have to look up some names on the blog.
Okay, that sucks because I don't think we're gonna.
No, it's okay. That story is good. I need to like if we do topics in the future, I want to. There's a way to tell the story.
Maybe you want, you can look it up right now. I can just edit out the part of you looking it up.
Oh, it'll be. I gotta look up stuff.
Just do some hardcore research.
Yeah. No, I'm just kind of getting a little out of it too.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me think real quick though. See if there's anyone that I can. Rachel Peredia. That girl's fucking crazy.
Why?
Just suicide and that kind of threatening stuff. It's like we can laugh about the whore written on the car. I don't even.
Yeah, don't get into that. That's fine.
It's like that's like next level. Like just
like actual like.
Yeah. Oh, then she cut her fucking arm and like videotape. It's just like. I don't know.
Yeah, it's sort of like have a similar experience.
Right.
Personally. Yeah, not worth getting into.
Yeah. Like you want like funny psycho or like, wild, like.
Yeah.
Okay, now she's like in a hospital with lost all his blood. Like,
yeah, I guess that's kind of the problem with asking for like psycho girl questions because it's almost like some of them are actually like not that funny. They're kind of like fucked up.
Right. Well, it's interesting like reminiscing on times that for me were at least 8, but as many as like 10 years ago. And I haven't thought, let alone spoke on some of these subjects, and not even in the detail about the party time, which was 6.5 months living there, but also 3 months like after and before. Well,
I didn't even know a lot of that stuff myself, to be honest. So it's still interesting for me to hear it.
Yeah, it wasn't like I haven't put it on Good Looking Loser in such detail because I. Like telling stories is cool and all, and I think that's best meant for videos, but it kind of like goes against the whole. It discourages pickup. Actually, I'm just like we had this success where it was some weeks it was like
some scenario you can't replicate really.
No, and you just like it got to the point where this is nothing anyone would have access to unless they were in one of these like party houses. Yeah. Probably in LA, possibly Miami and New York, but it was like I was tagging girls. All right, so what I would get excited about is like there was a pool party. I'd like meet a girl there that day, right? And I invite her back that night. Okay, so then we pre-party together, we drink, and then we go to the club, and then after party, we get busy. So it would be like that. Very quickly, it became because I came into the house with some skill. Very quickly, it would be I was tagging girls at the pre-party. We wouldn't even make it to the club, because before it was like, meet girl during the day, and then pre-drink with her, pre-game with her, and go to the club, dance, and and then when all the crew left, I wouldn't even get out of there before everyone like we would all go together. But there was an Uber at the time, so there was usually a sober driver. to get us back up to the hills or whatever. Half the time, I don't even know who was driving. But, and then it'd be the after party in the wee hours of the morning. Like, then, then I go for that pussy, right?
Yeah.
But it evolved to where it was like pre-party. Everyone's, hey, we're going, we're going down the strip right now. And it's just was a girl, I'd be like, yo, let's let them leave. Yeah,
Yeah.
Or like we'd hide in a closet. It's kind of exhilarating actually, like in someone's room who wasn't ours and stuff. And then we wouldn't even make it to the club. And we'd fuck in the pre-party.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, how can you could write that in a pickup blog, but it was like someone
It's not
who's
like practical advice for anyone.
It's not. It wasn't practical advice for me until I just got this opportunity to live there. Now, you can't put that together for yourself, but it was like, I always felt it was sort of like discouraging to talk about
Right.
that. There was no like, oh, I did this, and that. Like, I really didn't. I lived in this house. Sold supplements to a guy who, it's just, and he had these parties. He brought me these girls. Basically, he wanted me to hook up with them.
Yeah.
He would, when he introduced a girl to me, I'd introduced him to a lot of girls too, actually, but he was just trying to be like sober. It was just it was crazy, because like his friends were party animals, but he was like often up in his room, like reading about protein or something, like counting his calories or on that fitness site where you count your yeah. So I don't know, like it's cool as a story and there's a lot more to this, but it didn't really make much of Good Looking Loser other than some like tidbits. I think I had to post like 20 things I did right in my 20s or something like that. And it was like there was a part about this period, that the 6.5 months where I lived with this guy, but it was just like it like compared to like pickup, it was like just, I mean, I guess this would be as close to life as I'm not even gonna say a celebrity. It was beyond that. It was like like living with a band or something like that.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Right. I was living like that. But like, yeah, I felt it was almost gonna kill me. And like I said, this is the first time I've really like thought or talked about this for a long, long time. And it actually like is as crazy as it was and up and down, because I had especially when, I became dependent on certain stuff, like it was up and down and I could not regulate my mood. And I was so happy when I got away from it that I was able to like recover my brain. But I'm like trying to recall this stuff right now, so it's not coming out as smoothly as possible. And like part of me thinking back to it, I'm just like, shit, I hope I haven't forgotten these memories. You asked me like, what was a psycho girl or something like that. And I was like, I'm just like, this is 10 years ago, but I swear to God, I remember it like yesterday, but honestly, like I don't completely. Right. I could probably get most of the details together, like whether it be looking at the blog or just thinking or, if given a chance, but I'm just like, fuck, I hope I haven't lost a lot of these memories. Honestly, it was like, it was a special time.
When you finished like the whole pretty much getting shit handed to you on a silver platter, that was like after you already had some skill. Was that the cutoff point where you did GLL after, or were you still in the pickup? Like,
oh, still in the pickup. I moved to the beach after, and the whole thing was like
you did that because it was like the location was good for picking chicks up off the beach, or was it just a coincidence? Or
I wanted to get away so I would not be going into Hollywood at night. In Santa Monica, if you know, between Santa Monica and Hollywood, like you can't get there in more than like 2 hours, even though it's like literally like 25 minutes away in rush hour. So I wanted to be away from that scene.
So even though the goal was getting laid, it wasn't like you didn't mind like putting yourself in a more difficult situation where you like actually had to work hard.
I had so many girls at that point, it didn't even matter. So what I was trying to do was like, okay, so I built this lifestyle that basically probably almost killed me. And then so I did that. It was beyond my wildest dreams, good and bad.
Yeah.
You know, there was nights where I was just like walking around the house like alone, and there'd be people passed out, and I'm just like, I dropped out of law school. Like, yeah, I've gotten girls. I'm like, but I've completely ruined my life. And there's other times like where I would be, where I would like really just like have a girl and be on the balcony and be looking out at like the hills and stuff like that. I'm just like, I fucking made it, dude. I would go from like happy as a 10 to like to down in the fucking dumps all day. And I couldn't regulate my mood naturally. So, because it was, you know, it was crazy, but it was a special time. So I moved to the beach to get away from that. I pictured like, okay, I built this life. So I'm just going to live on the beach now. You know, I'm going to chill, you know, I'll get a month to month, but I'll probably spend a year there or something like that. So just get out there and chill. And then I started taking the nights off, meaning like not going out and stuff like that. And I would talk to Brian at length, and he was telling me this like quick hit shit he was doing. And I was just like, wow, I sort of planned it ahead of time, but I would listen to him, and Scotty would just talk and talk and talk. And I wouldn't even say anything. You wouldn't even know I was on the phone. He would just talk and talk and talk. And I was like, okay, so you're doing this. Yeah, it's in New York. Yeah, you're using your car, but here I am at the beach, and there's all these chicks on the beach, and I'm walking distance from the beach. I'm not right on the beach, but I'm about a block and a half. So I was like, I want to try to do that there. Girls are half naked on the beach anyway. So that was sort of like the next thing, but that didn't really last, honestly. Like I was doing bring girls back to the place. Sometimes it would work, sometimes it would. I mean, just you're asking a girl right in the middle of the day, hey, like, okay, so it's like 12:30 in the afternoon. It's like, hey, go make you a drink in my apartment or whatever, or something like that. The tourists it would work on, though, they're just like, all right, you lead the way. But the other girls down, I don't know. It was nothing beat the just like living in a house and just like doing substances all the time, and the parties are there.
Right.
Yeah.
So like at the end,
it drove me crazy because I would sometimes get back to my room at the end of the night, and I actually wanted to go to sleep. And there'd be a party, and I'd walk in my room, and the bed would be like the sheets would be on the floor. I'm just like, who the fuck was in here? So it was like, it seems like great, but there was a lot of this other stuff. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
And like, I got to wash this shit now. So I take all my sheets, throw it in a laundry basket, take it down to where the washing machine is. And someone's got their fucking stuff in there. So it's that.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, no, it was it's not even like a frat house, because at the frat house they have parties like on the week. Like, this was all the time.
Yeah.
It was crazy, to the point where I was like, I would go to the gym to get away from the house.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
At like the tail end of everything, was there like a specific thing that was like, I'm done with hitting on chicks? Like, for me, when I think to like the end of it, it kind of just like, I don't know, like I had a goal, I think, that I hit at one point.
What would that maybe be?
It was like some notch count that I like had set for the year, and I like hit it like 5 months ahead of time. And I just like, after that, I don't know, like I think a lot of guys, they just like, they make a bigger goal and they make a bigger goal, and they just like keep fucking going because they're never satisfied. But like,
money can be that way too. But sorry, go ahead.
And I had done these like goal things like several times now, to the point where like, I guess this one was like the overarching one that just like for me felt like I'm done now, and like I'm completely satisfied with what I've done. I know I'm secure enough to know that I never have to worry about like being alone or some shit. And like, you know, that's like the whole point of like everything anyways, not just to like bust nuts, but to like be emotionally like secure and like not worry about, you know, am I gonna have an issue like replacing some chick if it like goes like terrible or something.
Right.
And I don't know, I just like started developing like actual like long-term real relationships at that point.
Right.
But like for you, was it the same thing, and you just like got more committed to your main girl at that point, and like you had like a certain like cutoff point?
Well, that's where it came in. So my main girl or whatever, like we were on and off throughout this, and we didn't
Yeah.
always live in the same part of LA, but we would see each other, and I always had a lot of fun with her. So
Yeah.
it was kind of like, so I didn't know things were like phases. Okay, so that's in hindsight. So I wasn't like, okay, so now it's like partying, do coke in a house every single day, multiple times a day phase. I didn't know that. When I look back at it, it was like, okay, so it was 6.5 months where I lived in this house. You know, I look back at things and be like, oh, this was the stage. But there was some like, you know, they were overlapping too. Some of them were concurrent. So some of the girls had been around. I do remember one specific moment where I had moved down to the beach, and the sunsets in LA are beautiful. And it just so happened that I was walking out to the beach with like this girl, and we sat down in the sand, and we messed around earlier, probably just a few hours before. And it was like this. I don't have these moments very often, and certainly not as like when I was tied up in what I was doing with just chasing pussy and just not really smelling the roses much. Like it was a recycled experience, but it was just like I had to do it so many fucking times. So I would just be like, I felt I was making up for lost time. You might not have felt like that, but I really did. Cause like when I was doing this, I was your age. I was sitting on the beach with this girl watching the sunset, and apparently she was like talking to me and trying to get my attention. I was looking, not staring into the sun, but I was like literally for the first time in a long time, because I cleared out my fucking brain. I got off everything, and I was like actually noticing things that I wasn't noticing before. Like, oh, there's like a bird, and I hear that bird like, sounds like crazy. I hear a bird, like tweeting, and then I see like these tourists in the distance. I was observing things.
Like you're in the moment for the first time, sort of.
Yeah, it was like a different moment. Yeah, it was that, and I literally just started crying, and she was like,
Wow.
What's going on? I was just, I didn't know what to say. I was like, when I was like, sometimes you just know. I'm like, you just know. She's like, what are you talking about? I was like, I just know.
Huh.
And that was like, that didn't happen under the influence of anything. It happened like sober.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was, no, I don't know if it was just weird what happened. I don't know. I was like, holy fuck, like my life is perfect now. I put in all this work, and I wasn't like, oh, it's getting better. It's getting better. I just realized like everything's fine. What I came to LA to do, I fucking did.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So arguably on that day, on near Santa Monica Pier, like staring out, was like I was like, okay, we can shut the book on the like get girls, like that's.
So did you tell that girl to like take a hike after, or what happened? Because obviously that's not the girl you ended up with.
Right, no, she wasn't. I never was that close to her. I'm trying to like.
You just continue hanging out and then sort of just parted ways. Didn't talk to her again, sort of thing.
She went back to college. That's what it was. I
Okay.
think this was. I think something like that.
Did you stay living there after that time?
So I was on a month-to-month, and then after that, I left the beach because I was like, there wasn't much going on, but I'm not going to go back into what I was doing before.
Right.
I'm just like, I need to be in the, Santa Monica's wealthy, but I was like, the contacts that I know are in and around Beverly Hills. Chris has, I think on my About Me, I kind of list like where I was.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, I got to go back into Beverly Hills and West Hollywood, WeHo, and avoid the scene. But I'm like, I'm ready to do it now. I'm ready to be like a full-time personal trainer. I was never like, I gave the analogy before. There's some girls that are out there, 10% of girls are out there, and they're going to go on auditions and they're going to try to be an actress, but the rest of them just want to do coke. 90% just want to do, that was me.
Yeah.
Like, but, that was me. I just wanted to party, but I got that, and then I just became like, girls want to be actresses. I'm like, I'm gonna be a person. I'm ready to do it now. I miss nothing. It's just like I'm good. So then I moved back. So month-to-month leaves, I moved back to like Beverly Hills area. I ended up living in Bel Air, and I was pretty much serious about what I was doing. But it wasn't long before I realized like I don't want to be a personal trainer.
Yeah.
Like, this is a part of my life that I left behind. Like I stopped the hardcore weightlifting. When I destroyed my knee in college, like after that, it was like, I could still squat a lot, and didn't try to get my lifts up to back to what they were, but it was like, I remember when I destroyed my knee playing that stupid football game, I was on the field and I was just like, I'm done with like whatever the fuck I'm doing. I got to do something else.
Right.
So it was, I don't know. I guess I have these moments of sort of like clarity, but, they're few and far between.
Yeah.
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 So.
I think I don't want to risk the phone.
Yeah.
Dying, so might want to wrap it up.
Yeah.
But that was fucking good. I think we covered a lot. I didn't think we were going to get to much tonight, but I think that was like arguably as good as the first one.
Well, man, we do our best work at 4 a.m.
Yeah, it's like fucking 5:30 technically right now, actually.
When you get me reliving this stuff, like there's going to be stuff that just like, I don't know. I just stare into space and like, and it's cool though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even for me, it's like not that long ago for mine. Yours is like a decade ago. Mine's like 3 years ago. But like for me, going back and like thinking through it again, it's like that was some fucking good shit.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. And like that's like, I'm like done with that part. But like looking back on it, it's like I wouldn't change anything.
Yeah. I can't talk to Brian about it that way though. And that's like, it's caused a bit of a disconnect because, like I said, it wasn't all about girls, it's about getting fucked up. And for his sobriety, he's like, dude, we can't like, romanticize the past.
For him, it's like a bad thing.
Yeah,
that's unfortunate.
Definitely, yeah. One day it may not be.
Yeah.
But he doesn't, I don't think, look at everything that he did in the life that he built for himself as like an accomplishment. Right. He looks at it as a stage of like sex addiction or something. I don't know if that's changed, but yeah. And I was like, oh, say no more. Like I'm not dragging you down. Like, oh, you do GHB and like walk around. Right. So yeah. That's
too bad because that's like your guys' number one commonality through everything you met and everything.
Yeah, man. It was, but it was like, it was brief and things would have been crazy. So Brian once had asked me to like come to live with him in New York. He's like, so I had done like pickup for, I think it was just a year in LA or so. No, it was more than that. I'd been there more than a year, but it was a period. He asked me to come and just live in my, live in my basement. So I was part of that pickup program for like a year. He's like, you come live in my basement, so you'll get better in 2 weeks than you got the whole time there. I was like, huh, that kind of sounds crazy, but I didn't end up doing it.
No, really?
Well, I spent the year in the pickup program. I had no money or anything. I was just like, I can't do New York though. It's like, it's crazy. Yeah. I would be nutcase to be like LA. It's like, it can be crazy, but you got the sunshine and palm trees. It's like, if you can get away and step back and just be like,
is New York just like insane and shitty weather at the same time?
Well, yeah. A lot of months of the year, I'd say. New York's a special city though. I mean, for sure. But nonetheless, maybe more on that another time.
Yeah. Anyway, podcast brought to you by Gorilla Mind. Subscribe to myself, More Plates, More Dates, and Chris. If you're on Chris's channel, obviously, or if you're on my channel, go check him out. And check out goodlookingloser.com, moreplatesmoredates.com. Thank you guys for watching. Talk to you soon.
See you guys.